Teachers are welcome to attend. This is in place of November's County Council meeting. Questions? Call 622-3210.
Absentee voting and in-person early voting begins on Tuesday, October 11th in New Mexico. Expanded early voting is scheduled Saturday, October 22nd through Saturday, November 5th. Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th, with polls open on Election Day for in-person voting from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please get out and vote in this year's election.
If you have an item for Talktivities, email it to calendar@pvbcradio.com. That's calendar@pvbcradio.com.
KLG. Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. With violent crime on the increase, especially in blue cities across the country, Donald Trump Jr. has told a Republican rally in Miami that voting takes on added significance this time around.
On Tuesday, I need all of you to vote like your lives depend on it. Because they do. I want you to vote like your safety and that of your children and your loved ones and your grandchildren depend on it.
In addition to surging crime, the economy and raging inflation, also a big issue in the midterm elections. Former President Trump has been rallying for Republicans. He'll do so again later today in Ohio, while President Biden has been stumping for Democrats, and he has a rally scheduled later in the day in Maryland. Along with congressional contests, change is in the air in many states as well, with gubernatorial and legislative races to be decided by the voters when they go to the polls tomorrow. Some 41 million Americans will not be heading to the polls tomorrow because they already cast their ballots in early voting around the country. President Biden has been talking about shutting down coal-fired power plants across the country. This much to the dismay of Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, the coal-producing state of West Virginia. The White House subsequently tried to walk back Mr. Biden's remarks. The president has also told a rally in New York, quote, "No more drilling." This a reference to oil exploration in the U.S. Home Depot workers at a Philadelphia store have said no to a union. If they had voted yes, would have been Home Depot's first unionized store with 274 employees. Dow futures up 89 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 34. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Amnesty International warns the proceedings of COP27 in Egypt could be tainted by the death of one of the country's leading human rights activists.
The group's Secretary-General, Agnes Kalamard, says Egypt had no more than 72 hours to save the life of jailed dissident Alaa Abdel Fattah, who's also a British citizen, if the authorities do not release him within days. The activists on a hunger and water strike. The crisis shines a spotlight on Cairo's human rights record as a wide-reaching crackdown continues under President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Kalamard said at a news briefing in Cairo, if they don't want to end up with a death that they should have and could have prevented, they must act now. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
This year's Vigilant Storm Air Force drills between the United States and South Korea, turns out they were the largest ever for the annual fall maneuvers. News and analysis, townhall.com. The men's and women's winners in the New York City Marathon are from Kenya, but the event is about much more than determining the fastest of the 50,000 runners.
Danelia Roberts is running her 6th marathon, and she says there's nothing like it.
The New York crowds are like nowhere else. You know, turning into Central Park, when you're in New York, it's just, you're like a rock star.
The 55-year-old thyroid cancer survivor running to raise money for research. Her husband has cancer now.
That form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is incurable. So training and getting through the runs a lot was just being able to do something that he couldn't.
The marathon has 500 official charity partners. Last year, close to $48 million was raised. Julie Walker, New York.
Antivirus measures at a plant in China could slow the supply of new iPhones. That's the warning this morning from Apple. More on these stories. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Don't say it like that.
Welcome to it.
Well, take the glum all out of it.
It's a busy week. It's a busy week. We got Election Day this week.
It is going to be one that's going to fly by.
Veterans Day this week. We got high school football playoffs. We got high school volleyball playoff.
Holy mackerel, yeah.
Other playoffs as well, but ones we'll be carrying for you this week on La Radio.
Yes.
And, we just got a busy week with it. And everybody, and on top of that, it's, the people think about Thanksgiving and all that now.
After a week of kind of now, and I know it's always fall time around here, so it's always going to be kind of busy.
Mm-hmm.
But last week it just seemed was kind of like a let's just all take a break for a second week.
Yeah.
There was no high school football.
This is true.
The Cowboys were on a bye.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody was just kind of taking a break. And this week it's like, okay, now everybody back to one.
That's right. We got a busy week, so exciting week for everyone. Hopefully you're taking, getting your vitamins and eating your Wheaties and getting ready for the week ahead.
Artesia is going to be playing Valley on Saturday at 1.
Yes.
Goddard's taking on Deming Friday night, 6 o'clock.
Correct.
And Roswell High is taking on Gadsden Saturday at 1.
Correct. And we will have all three broadcasts on the radio and live streaming video.
Yep.
We do have the rights purchased for this one.
Home field advantage.
Yeah, for at least this week we'll have it for you. KSVPTV.com. But yes, Friday night we will have Goddard taking on Deming. You'll hear that game on Fiero 106.1 FM beginning at 6 o'clock. Roll round, about 6:45 with pre. Actually, I'm sorry. Kickoff is at 6, so pregame will start around 5:45.
Yeah,
let me get that. It's an hour earlier than normal. Normally we start at 7 for kickoffs. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff. So
which, never mind the time change, is basically like a normal start time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had the clocks not sprung
if
forward.
You didn't set your clocks back, just show up like you normally would.
By the way,
fine.
If it's not 7 a.m. at your house right now, you did not move your clocks back.
You didn't do it right.
If you still think it's 8:08 a.m. and you're like, why is nobody at work yet? It's because you forgot to move your clocks back.
Yep.
So, but anyway, but yes, we'll have that game for you at 6 o'clock Friday, and then Saturday, the Roswell Coyotes will host the Gadsden Panthers here at the Wool Bowl at 1 o'clock. So the Wobol's going to be busy because we got Veterans Day beginning at 9 a.m. at the courthouse lawn.
I didn't think about that.
And so at 9 a.m. we'll have the ceremony, and then the parade will go forward, and then go to the Wobol, and then everyone can hang out the Wobol till about noon. And then they're going to kick us out and make way for getting ready for foosball.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't think about that. Food trucks are going to be set up, but only for a minute, so get it while it's hot.
Well, you have about an hour or so. I figure till about 10:30, 11 till about noon, you're going to have.
And honestly, it's veterans. They're not going to want to hang out that long. Well, they're going to have other. It's Veterans Weekend, so they're going to be hitting up all the different restaurants.
I say call it a big tailgate party. Come and party with the vets and hang out and do all that. And then just keep hanging out till the football game, and then go on into the game afterwards and root on for a Coyotes victory.
I never knew the magic, the wonder that is Veterans Day for veterans until last year when I was dating a veteran. And I got
you can take advantage of it if you want to.
Some of those veterans benefits. And man, oh man, if you're a veteran on Veterans Day, you just start at one end of town and just work your way down. That's how you do it. I mean,
you can, yeah.
Just make your own parade. Just a bunch of back pats and free meals.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
A little bit of waiting,
sure,
depending on different places. Some places are more popular than others for the
hit up the Golden
Day.
Corral about 4 p.m. That's going to be right around your sweet spot.
That's a busy one.
That's going to be your sweet spot, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Because you figure 5 o'clock is when a whole bunch of the veterans are going to show up. Hit them about 4:30.
Yeah.
It's a little early for dinner, but you're gonna have.
It's funny you mentioned that. There's I think the show got canceled. I don't think it's on anymore. But there was a show on CBS on Thursday nights. It's what's his name? The guy who does Big Bang Theory and all those. I can't remember. His name just slipped right out of my head.
The producer?
Yeah.
Bill Lorre.
Yeah,
Chuck Lorre.
Chuck Lorre. It was a Chuck Lorre show, but I think it got canceled because I don't see it on anymore. It was called The United States of Al was the name of the show.
Okay.
And basically the premise of the show was a guy that was a Army vet, and he was over in Afghanistan or whatever it was. And then basically his interpreter, they become really good friends, and he ends up getting him out of Afghanistan.
That's sort of like based on a true story, right?
I think so.
Kind of,
but it's a sitcom. And
he's one of the journalists that he got out of
it was not a journalist. He was an interpreter for the military. He served the government as a Afghani or wherever. I can't remember if he's Kuwaiti or Afghani, but whatever he was. But anyway, so that was the premise of the show. But they did an episode around Veterans Day, and so the dad's a veteran, the son's a veteran. Of course, the interpreter, he gets veteran status, and so him and their buddies are like basically doing what you just said, doing like a Veterans Day crawl, and they're hitting every bar and restaurant and getting all the free food and drinks that they could possibly get.
And then I was thinking that one episode of The Simpsons where Bart's like, I'm going to go get my free birthday sundae. He's like, one free birthday sundae, and they hand him this little thing, like slap it down the counter. Eat it and get out.
The Simpsons nail it again. How the real world is. So. Yeah. By the way, the finale of Icons of Earth is this week with them. The final,
really?
The series finale of The Simpsons.
Like the future and beyond kind of.
Yeah, whatever they've got in store for us for this final episode.
I've heard a rumor that they're ready to pack up and walk away from the series after the next movie. That they want the next movie to sort of be like their end-all, be-all finale.
It took like 20 years for the first movie to come out. So.
I think that's why they said that as there was a safety statement. They're like, well, that's going to be another 30 years before we put another one of these bad boys
what you wish for.
I love the movie. Was great. Was a great 3 episodes of The Simpsons. And for like the season after that, I really felt like the animators really tried. Like we're really trying to like grasp that magic again, and then it just sort of fell off again.
Well, I think part of what you're saying, and have you seen the most recent episode?
I saw the one about
the final years,
the lead up
or
to
they
the
call
movie.
it, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
not the
later
finale.
Years. That's what they call it.
The later years. Yeah.
So, they kind of cover that because they cover the movie in that one, and I think what it is a lot of the original guys came back to work on the movie,
right?
Whereas the TV show, those guys weren't working on the TV show anymore.
Sam Simon, I think, came back.
Well, some of the writers that were in that first season that are by 5th season or whenever the movie came out, they were no longer a part of the writing team. And so I bet some of that, what you're talking about, is due to that alone. There was just the OG people were in there writing that movie. where, they come from a different place than these are the original ones. Basically, all the writers you see now are fans of the original group because they were kids when this thing started.
Right. Which is why it's kind of cool, because it's like, well, now this generation wants to do that generation justice almost. So it's like a renaissance.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you keep a show on long enough, it will eventually regain relevance.
Yeah, when you got an animated series on for 30 plus seasons, you tend to have turnover.
It'll happen.
From top to bottom, and that's exactly what they've had. So let me give you the rundown for
yes.
We got some replays for you today. We're going to play our interview we had last week with Major Mike Lucher and Bart Hoffman from the Salvation Army, and they've got they're getting into their busy season.
Yes,
so
it's bell ringing season.
So we'll play that conversation with.
Do they talk about when that officially kicks off?
Yeah, it's here in November. I just don't remember the exact date.
I'm not sure if it's like the week before.
It's something like that.
Thanksgiving, I think.
I want to say it's like either this or next weekend. I don't remember off the top of my head. Listen to the interview and tune in and find out.
Spoilers.
Yeah. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to play an interview we had last week. We had Bill Williams, Chaves County Manager, and Mike Espiritu with the EDC join us. And the county and them that partnered up for a big veterans. They're going to be doing a Veterans Day proclamation on Wednesday in the courthouse lawn. They're doing the Green Lights for Veterans campaign. And so they talk about that in the interview. And then want to invite you out Wednesday, high noon, for their declaration for all veterans and everything. So we're going to play that for you in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, from Excel Energy, Wes Reeves and Mike McLeod joined us last week. Had a great conversation, gave us an update on what they've got going on. So I'll play that for you about 9:15. So,
dude.
Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with your Wall Street Town Hall business updates and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
I don't have time this hour, but remind me next hour when we do have some time to tell you about the time that my nearsightedness almost got me in some serious trouble. I was reminded of it because I was looking at this poster back here. We have the Christmas at the Movies poster.
Yes.
So what I did was I pulled my phone out and took a picture of it so I could, read it, because I can't read it from here because of my nearsightedness. So I took a picture so I could zoom in and figure out what the movies are. But just when you have some more time, remind me to tell you how that actually almost got me some serious trouble.
We'll tease that for
with
next
some
hour.
Arabs. We'll tease that even
I'm
further.
just blind. I'm sorry. It is 7:16. Let me tell you about the weather in case you have trouble seeing it. Here it is.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have dry cold front dropping in on us today, so we may get a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine as well. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy, and we'll drop into the mid-50s. And then it looks like we'll stay cloudy tomorrow morning, but sunshine coming back in the afternoon and low to mid-70s, fair and close to 80 Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 44 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 73%. Winds currently out of the north at 10 miles per hour. For today, mostly sunny. Highs near 70. 67 is what they're calling for our high today. Probably should have wore a long sleeve tee had I known that information earlier. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, there is a slight chance of a drizzle. Not even a full-on rain, just a drizzle tonight after 8. Patchy fog after 8, otherwise mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 54. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. We do have a slight chance of drizzle before 11, then a slight chance of rain showers after 11 tomorrow. Patchy fog before 11 a.m., otherwise mostly cloudy. High of 75 tomorrow. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour early. Increase in 15 to 20 later in the afternoon. Our chance of precip tomorrow is at officially 10%. So we might get an ever so slight thing. But looks like it's going to be a little breezy. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 56. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 79. South winds 15 to 20. Friday, sunny, 70, breezy, and then sunny, highs near 60 for Veterans Day on Friday. The weekend going to be chilly as well, 57 and sunny Saturday, 61 and sunny on Sunday. Yes, if early voting is concluded, in case you were wondering, Saturday was the last day to early vote. If you did not vote early, then tomorrow is your day. We'll have the different polling locations. I'll go over those a little later. We got to get the interview started, so I'll do those next hour. But yes, if you did not early vote, make sure you get out and vote tomorrow. The numbers are record. What's the matter? He's coming in looking at his phone with a look of concern on his face. What is going on?
Did you know Aaron Carter died?
I did know that.
I just found this out.
Yeah, he died Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I'm guessing. I don't know if it's either drug overdose or suicide, but
it's got to be.
Mental health is. He was only 30-something. Right?
34.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
It was due to his lifestyle, whether it was mental health or drugs or something. But
dude.
Yeah.
I just saw a meme and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's never good.
Yes. Yeah, that happened over the weekend.
Wow. Okay. I just didn't know. Wow. So breaking news, I guess, to me. I have kids, man. I've been taking care of kids all weekend. I was watching My Little Pony for most of the weekend.
That's all right. It's all right. I knew it, and I was kind of like, well,
ask me what happened in the world of Twilight Sparkle. I could tell you all about that.
At the time of Aaron Carter's fame, I was too old to appreciate his stylings. It is 7:20. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll play our interview with the folks from the Salvation Army on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A nice 1st of November run shaping up for today. We expect to sell 2,250 head. Break it down like this: 250, 300 weigh cows and bulls, 125, 150 pairs, bred cows, 1,800, 1,900 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 23 bred cows, Nathaniel Inge, Balmoral, Texas, ex-quality black white face Angus cross cows, 2nd and 3rd trimester, bred to Angus bulls. These cows 8 to 10 years old. 31 bred cows, Corn Ranch here north of Roswell, ex-quality black white face Angus cross cows, bred to Angus bulls, 8 to 10 years old. 16 bred cows, Angeles Ranch, Pecos, Texas, ex-quality black Angus and Brangus cross cows, 6 to 9 years old. 134 calves, the Cane Ranch, Van Horn, Texas, extra quality Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 52 days, Bowie Shield Gold, 8-way, medium condition, 600 pounds. 40 calves, Mr. Chris Insenius at Moriarty, excellent quality black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 30 days, 2 rounds of shots, 550 pounds. 105 calves, the Rye Ranch, Bingham, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, medium condition, 500 pounds. 22 heifer calves, Mr. Jim Patterson over at Bingham, excellent quality black Angus cross heifers, Bowie Shield Gold 7-way at Brandon, 600 pounds. 27 calves, Blandford Ranch, Deming, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face Angus cross calves. These cattle weaned, shots, 550 pounds. 82 steer calves, Miss Carol Coker, Daddle, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, 600 pounds. 53 calves, Mr. Raymond Whitmire, Lincoln, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, 650 pounds. 55 calves, Mr. Larry Wagner, right here at Roswell, ex-quality black white face Angus cross calves, Bowie Shield Gold 7-way at Brandon, 700 pounds. 74 calves, Mr. Fred Beard at Carlsbad, excellent quality black white face Angus cross calves, Bowie Shield Gold 7-way at Brandon, 550 pounds. 52 calves, 26 yearlings, the Salvo Ranch here south of Roswell, excellent quality Angus crosses, 1 round of shots, 800 pounds. 39 calves, Hindi Ranch, Duran, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, 550 pounds. And 64 calves and light yearling, the Baylor Ranch, Sierra Blanca, Texas, ex-quality black Angus and Brangus crosses, 700 pounds. Sale time this morning be 9 o'clock. Sale pairs, bred cows 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 11:30. We expect to sell 2,250 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Representative Greg Nybert has always and continues to believe in less government interference in our lives, Second Amendment rights, strong and consistent enforcement of the law, no leniency for criminals, right to life, and government spending within its means. Greg Nybert has represented House District 59 fairly and consistently. Please vote for Greg Nybert, District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Do you know what to do when you or a loved one has flu-like symptoms, chest pain, shortness of breath, or abdominal pain? Or where to go for a broken bone? Emergencies are never convenient, but when they happen, ask to be taken to Loveless Regional Hospital, where they have 24/7 emergency care, intensive care, and more. You can even be seen in about 30 minutes or less. When urgencies or emergencies happen, ask to be taken to Loveless Regional Hospital. Because minutes matter, and you have a choice.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company. But come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
Ready for some good economic news? Guess not. But New Mexico was 4th best in the nation to reduce its unemployment rate over the last 12 months. That's what the Bureau of Labor Statistics says. There are 2 strategies Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has championed that have a lot to do with this: the Job Training Incentive Program and the Local Economic Development Act. They help companies expand, hire, and train thousands of new workers each year. For example, the expansion of these training programs that Michelle Lujan Grisham got through the legislature helped land Intel's new chip hub in Rio Rancho. That's 1,000 construction jobs and 700 new hires at high salaries. The Lujan Grisham administration now partners with 85 communities across the state to bring good new jobs to their local areas every year. It's true, Michelle Lujan Grisham delivers a stronger economy, not just the weather.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
Is Mike joining us in studio this morning from the Salvation Army? We have Major Mike Lucher joining us here this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning. Good morning, Roswell.
So, are you new to this area? Like, did you just get assigned here, or have you been here for a little bit?
No, we just were assigned here. We've been here for 4 months.
Okay.
So
you replaced the past administration that was holding the fort down here at the Salvation Army headquarters.
Yes, that's true.
There you go. So I'm curious. Did you have any? Have you ever been to New Mexico or this part of the world before coming here 4 months ago, or is this first time?
Never been to New Mexico. Never. First time in the Southwest area. Most of our experience within the last 23 years have been mostly Hawaii and Pacific Islands.
Oh.
We were there for 13 years.
So you're used to tropical. Now you got desert.
Yeah, but it's better than the upstate New York weather.
I was about to say, yes, I can attest to that. We were just talking in the break here, and that's where he's from upstate New York originally. My father's side of the family's from upstate New York as well. So a little compare and contrast in there. But one thing we can agree on is, they'll get snow. I don't know. This November, December, and then they just usually stays around until about March. So,
oh yes, I am so thankful to be in Roswell. Yes. So thankful.
Although every once in a while we get snow, and matter of fact, what was it? 2015, we got what we call Winter Storm Goliath, and we got like 22 inches of snow here. And we didn't know what to do with that. We get 2 inches, we don't know what to do with that. And 22, we really didn't know what to do with that.
Well, I'm definitely not bringing it with me from New York. So,
very good. So how long have you been a part of the Salvation Army?
We've been officers, which in layman terms, we've been the ministers, my wife and I, for the Salvation Army for just a little over 20 years.
Okay. So do you guys work as a team here to kind of run the facility here in Roswell?
Oh, yes.
Very cool. Well, that's got to be at least a fun part. You get to do it with your spouse every day.
It is. It's different. It's different than other, faith-based churches or organizations. The Salvation Army both ordains the husband and the wife because if there's, for instance, people who are very, they don't want to talk to a man. Mm-hmm. Well, my wife is ordained, and she can take up the reins. And
gotcha. So people feel more comfortable kind of sharing their problems or issues with, and then you've got them. Here it is, no problem.
Yep, and she also speaks the Word of God, so a lot of times she's more fluent than I am.
She's probably the better, when you need some mentoring, she's probably better than I am at it here.
Yeah.
But and that's what I love about Salvation Army, because they'll always help physically what the needs are, whether you need the lights turned on or the heat working or you need some blankets or whatever it is. Salvation Army is always, I know in the past fans have been a popular thing here during the warmer months to pass out free fans. People donate fans, and you guys would turn around and give them away as fast as you get them, I think. And not only does the Salvation Army do that side of thing to help with the physical needs there, but that spiritual side, saying, what's going on in your life? How do we get here? How can we get to a point where you don't need our services? You can do this on your own, or you can do this with a proper support system and things like that. And Salvation Army really goes to help that side. So it's more of not just putting the Band-Aid on the wound here, but try to actually treat and heal that wound.
Yes.
That's what, and obviously, as you said, it's all faith-based here, which I've always found that whatever program, whether it's like a rehab and drug or alcohol or something more like Salvation Army, I always know that whenever that organization is faith-based, you can look at their success rates, and it's usually 10 times higher than things that aren't faith-based. I'm just making an observation here. They work. So that's what I really love about Salvation Army, is that side of it, that fixing the whole problem, not just putting the quick fix on something like that.
Yeah, and many people don't know this. We've actually been in Roswell since January 1900.
Oh, wow.
And so,
not the same building, I hope.
No. No,
hope they've upgraded over the years.
definitely not the same people and the same buildings, but the ministry looks a little bit different. But to know that we've been here for almost 123 years coming up, we want to continue that.
Absolutely. Well, and obviously most people think Salvation Army and we think bell ringers and the holidays, and absolutely that. To be honest, that campaign is most of the reason you guys can do what you do each and every single year. I'm guessing that's probably your biggest is the kettle campaign is the biggest campaign that Salvation Army does to raise funds. They obviously get funds through other donations in other ways, but that's the one everybody knows. And of course, I'm sure you guys will be here in just a few short weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Start showing up on in front of storefronts and things, doing your thing here. So hopefully, if you start seeing the kettles out there, please, put some money in there. And I imagine this is the time of year you're probably looking for volunteers as well, too.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yep. Volunteers for our Angel Tree program, where we're asking people to donate new toys for children ages 0 to 12.
Okay.
And we have distribution, so we need volunteers for that day. Of course, volunteers for kettles, so they can call our main office, and I can make sure that our listeners can know that number and what to call and try to organize that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely want to, people reach out, volunteer, get involved. That's something that you can come on over if you want and sit and hang out. Go ahead. You come on in. How are you doing today?
Sorry, I'm doing good. I thought it was 9.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we got her going here. So we were just kind of talking a little bit about what's coming up here and the need for volunteers and talking about the needing of new toys right now.
Yeah.
That's a big one. If you can, and don't forget Unwrapped, because they need to know if it's appropriate for a girl or boy, if it's an older or something that's more like a toddler or something like that. But if you can want to donate, this is now the time to maybe start collecting those as you're hitting the stores here, doing your own shopping, and maybe pick up an extra toy or two and drop it off at the Salvation Army if you be so kind. That would be a good thing.
Yes.
And but I imagine, because you guys help with any other way, can people drop off other items too, or are you just looking for toys right now? If people have like clothing or blankets or any of these types of, can you guys accept that, or would that be best to give to somebody else?
No,
you'll take it. Okay.
We'll
I didn't know. We have a lot of great organizations that need help. I didn't know if that was something you guys could take too, or
most donations should go directly to our thrift store.
Okay,
which is off Chisholm, close to Chisholm in Maine.
And
that would be the best place. And our food bank is right behind the thrift store.
Okay.
So
if you want to drop off canned goods and non-perishables.
Yes, canned goods. And then if there's something that should go to the food bank that shouldn't belong to the thrift store, they can easily transfer it over to the next building.
Yeah, they'll find the place it needs to go and get to the people that need it.
Yes.
And of course that those places stay open because of the generosity of the community. I mean, yeah, you guys work hard to try to reach out and meet the needs of that, but at the end of the day, without people donating and volunteering, there wouldn't be anything in those stores to give to people in need. So, and I know we're getting into the holiday season where demand goes way up.
Yes.
And but your need also goes way up. That's the other thing. So please, I know there's going to be inundated with a lot of people asking for food and for various things. Please support as many as you can, but think of the Salvation Army. If you're kind of like, I don't know who else to give, Salvation Army is going to make sure that it gets to the people that need it. And like you said, you've been here in Roswell for 100 years. If that's not a testament to think they're going to, be here tomorrow. Yeah, they're going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Put it this way, long after we're off this earth, the Salvation Army is going to be here doing what they do. The next generations are doing it. So you can rest assured that everything you donate, everything that you contribute will be used here locally for folks in need. So it's just a great, it's just what they do. And I'm just ballpark curiosity on average. How many people are coming through the doors on a given day just looking for needs, things that they, just guesstimate. I know it's not something you can really.
Wow! When you talk about individuals, when you think about our food bank where we give out emergency food boxes and commodities for seniors, and then that doesn't include people who come in for utility assistance or just any type of assistance, even if it's a spiritual need.
Yeah.
I would say per week, it's well over 100 people, anywhere from 100 to 200 people, depending on how many's in the family.
That's a lot.
And yeah, so when there's constantly food coming in, food going out.
And I imagine that demand has increased over the last couple of years with COVID, with the world we live in. People are more in need in recent months and years here than probably in previous years here. So I imagine your role has grown pretty. I know you've been here since just 4 months now, but I imagine in the last couple of years here, and that's probably across the board for Salvation Army. That's not unique to Roswell. That's something that's across the board.
Yeah, and I don't think it's only unique to the Salvation Army. I think it's unique to any nonprofit or church that is trying to supply the need for our community.
Absolutely. And so for folks that can, please, if you can help, because unfortunately, the need does not decline. There's always going to be folks in need here, and it would be awesome to say that the Salvation Army has nothing to do because everybody's taken care of, but I realistically don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So please, when we get in this holiday season, volunteer. Come volunteer to be a part of things. If time is not something you have a lot of, then maybe donate food or clothing or money, whatever monetarily, whatever the needs are, the money always is good because that can kind of fill the void, whatever the void is, regardless of whether it's, you need more toys or you need more canned goods or whatever it is.
Yeah. And for the community, we have two unique opportunities coming up. Next Saturday, the 12th.
Okay.
It's the second Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
We have a buffet breakfast.
Nice.
It used to be called a pancake breakfast, but it's a buffet breakfast fundraiser.
Okay.
And it's held at our main office, which is on 612 West College Boulevard.
Okay.
It's from 7 to 11.
Okay.
Next Saturday, the 12th.
All right.
But then next month, it's every second Saturday.
So just kind of mark it on your calendar, the second Saturday of each month.
It's $7 for adults, and I believe it's $4 for children.
Oh, wow.
And certain age, like I don't remember if it's 3 and under, they're free.
Oh, wow.
But we make sure it's cost effective and
it's a buffet.
Yeah, it's a buffet.
Yeah.
It's not just pancakes.
Yeah.
It's pancakes, waffles, sausage, bacon.
So if you leave hungry, you just did it way wrong, and you need to learn how to work a buffet.
That's right.
I'll be happy to teach you, by the way. Every skill set a person should have is how to work a buffet. But
and then coming into the holidays, we also have the Thanksgiving, and the biggest need, because we do the Meals on Wheels for the Joy Center on that day, so their employees can take that day off.
You give them a little break on that day.
Yeah, so the Salvation Army does it for that day, and we deliver between 300 and 400 meals. And then this year, we're providing to-go meals for anybody who's in need.
Okay.
Whether they be homeless or just want a Thanksgiving meal.
Sure.
They can come at a specific time that morning.
And we'll feed you.
And we'll give you a to-go meal.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's great. And but it takes a lot of volunteers to make these things happen. So if there's people that are interested in do it as a family, I hope we still get that sometimes, where especially around the holidays, where parents will bring maybe their children that are like middle school or like 5th or 6th grade, and they want to, show them the appreciation for what they have. And so let's go work at Salvation Army or go work at some place and use it as a teachable moment for their kids.
Right.
And hopefully at the same time, it gets the kids the bug of wanting to give and help and do that too. So
and the biggest need for families is for Thanksgiving is for the families to come in. We have it set for 9:45 a.m. Thanksgiving morning.
Okay.
And we're going to need people to deliver the food they're basically people who are shut in, can't get out, and we're delivering the meals to them.
And generally, when you do things like this, it's not also, I mean, yes, you're delivering the food to these people that can't get to, but you're also serving as a bit of a social person, because usually the shut-ins and things don't get a lot of visitors and things. Some probably won't want to talk to you at all, but then there's some others that, you might be the highlight of their day, and you spend a few minutes and sit and chat and visit, and then while you're doing that, you can make sure that the rest of their needs are being taken care of as well too. But some you're just there for the support, the humanity of just contacting and talking and spending time with a person. That sometimes is as important as the turkey and the dressing that's sitting in that box there. So if you love that, if you love meeting people and talking with people, and you've never done something like this, then come out and volunteer to donate to deliver meals. I've done it a bunch of times through various organizations, and a lot of times it's just sitting and visiting with these folks, and by the time you leave, you made a friend sometimes, and you're kind of like, all right, let's go catch lunch later, and something like that. So it is pretty neat. So I think, use this as an opportunity. Expose your younger family members to get and volunteer together as a family, or just, do it as a couple, do it individually. Doesn't matter. Just get as many folks out there to donate toys, to roll up their sleeves and help deliver meals or prepare the food, because I imagine that all this food don't get cooked by itself, does it?
No, it's all, we have it set up. It's all cooked by volunteers.
They all do it?
Yep. So they come to our facility.
So we need some more of those volunteers to help cook too, I imagine too.
Yeah.
So
Mark Granato is, been around for probably longer than I've been an officer in the Salvation Army and volunteering for over close to 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
And to have him lead this, it's just unbelievable that he's able to do that.
And Bart, you've seen our area and stuff. You kind of know what you see on a daily basis there. And yes, what Mike's saying here, talking about the need and all that, but from your perspective, you've been volunteering and working with Salvation Army for a while now.
Since 82.
82, so a little while.
A little while.
That was a good year for Salvation. That was a good vintage year for Salvation. I'm just kidding. But I mean, so you probably are a little more plugged in on the specific needs of Roswell and what you guys see on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike's been here 4 months. He's probably getting a clue, but 82 is a little bit more wisdom there on that one.
I think we're doing a couple things that are unique. One is on Sundays. We do a breakfast for the homeless.
Okay.
And they come to the Corps.
Okay.
And we feed them. And, again, Mark cooks. Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Mark cooks a ton of food, and they come in. We do a short devotion, little Sunday school thing. And in the beginning, they kind of go, okay, I'm going to eat. I don't want to talk about Jesus, and they just kind of buzz out. But as time goes on, more people start staying, and that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's you know, in some cases you're not going to help them overnight.
Yeah,
you're going to. It's one day at a time, one chipping away. Because I would guess, especially with your homeless population, you're dealing with a lot of mental health there. Whether it's and depending on each individual, they might be trying to self-medicate. Which the dangers that comes with that.
Absolutely.
But of course, it could be just they're homeless because they don't want to be around people. It's not always about finances. Sometimes that's just due to what's happened in their lives and how they view the world. They prefer to be on their own, out in the elements. And they don't want religion. They don't want, but you kind of take chips away at that armor and you come in one Saturday. It's like, hey, how you doing? Come on, have a meal. Don't talk to me about Jesus. No problem. Enjoy your eggs. We'll see you next week. And then they come in. Don't talk. All right. And then one day, you say your prayer and something's going to and I imagine it's kind of like that, isn't it? It's a lot of each week, because you probably have a bunch of people you see on a regular basis.
We get what, 60 people? I'd say right around 60 people that come every Sunday, and if there's people out there that have a need, you're more than welcome to come Sunday.
Yeah.
We open it at 8:30.
Okay.
And it's just really a cool thing.
Yeah. I'm curious. What's I know we're talking about volunteers, but what's the path if someone's looking for careers in Salvation Army? How does that happen? Is it joining like the military where you got to kind of enlist in all of that, or is it a little bit different?
I'm telling you, man, basic is really, really tough.
You're gonna have salvation whether you want it or not.
Yes, in a sense, it is that way, because we sort of use a quasi-military, with all of our titles and
ranks and chain of command and all of that, and some of the protocols and procedures run similarly.
Yes. So in order to become an officer like I am, you do need to become a member of the Salvation Army and, learn what it means to become a soldier. And that's where it becomes the basic.
A soldier for God, as opposed to a soldier for the United States Army or cert nation here. Yeah. Like some of us have chewed. But I imagine there's probably a lot of military veterans that go on to become Salvation Army members as well, too.
I think so, and it's a lot of things that the Salvation Army does in order to be prepared and ready. They train us that way.
Sure.
And so it really pulls in those who are in the military. I like this because that's the way I was trained in the real military.
Mindset of mobilization and execution and treating everything like a mission. We got a mission to do this today, and that's a very military mindset. And the Salvation Army has adopted that same style.
And does it mean we're 100% ready? No, not in certain specific areas. But we do our best, and when we're called upon, we go.
Well, how much marching do you do? That's kind of a curious, because that was one of those aspects I wasn't a big fan of in the military, about the marching and drill. I didn't need any of that. You guys do a lot of drill?
No.
Okay,
good. It's not that type of
good
military.
I'm just trying to recruit here, because I'm sure some people, if I can get out of the drill part of it, I don't want to do without it. So I just want to make sure there's no drilling for the Salvation Army.
I would say our drilling is more the spirituality.
Gotcha.
What do we believe in?
That doesn't give me shin splints, so I'm okay with that.
And in larger cities, the corps, which are the church, have bands.
Okay.
And what they will do is once a year, from Sacramento all the way into San Francisco, they literally march, with the band.
Gotcha.
Play music. People follow them. They go to the Chinese. They go to the Chinese corps. They go down to the basement, and they get to pig out on some of the best food you've ever tasted.
Nice.
But when the general started all of this, they literally went into bars with a tambourine.
Nice.
And they would. It's not that they were being aggressive. It's that they were following the teachings of Jesus that said, you
got to go where the sinners are.
That's it. That's it. We don't do that quite so much anymore,
but there is an element of that in the Salvation Army
absolutely.
too. That's part of it. But yeah, you're talking about the bands and all that stuff, and that's kind of the prestigious part. When we talk about the Salvation Army bands and things like that too. That's the shine part that gets the ability to do the nuts and bolts work that of the Lord here is doing that. I love it.
Until you march 4 miles and you find out that you get to carry the bass drum.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness I don't have no knowledge of how to play an instrument. No one's going to ask me to do any kind of music playing in a band because they'll kindly say, "Yeah, we don't need you. Thank you." There's this one guy that's off key every time. It's me. But I was curious. I mean, so would one just go like online and start the process, and do they, if there's someone out there saying, I want to serve, maybe I don't want to be an ordained minister, but you know what, Salvation Army sounds like that path where I can kind of do a little bit of both here and kind of be the minister side, but at the same time be that coordinator during times of need and things like that. So. Is it just a matter of the website, or can they come down and talk to you and start that process?
The best is to come down and talk with me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just so they understand.
Yeah. I just think,
especially if they're local here within Chavez County or a couple counties that we may have a support service.
Because I imagine you're always looking for new folks that are ready to kind of put on the uniform and serve here.
Yeah, and I have an open door policy, so anybody coming to my office will see my office door is open all the time.
Hence the open door policy.
That's it.
But and then of course now I'm guessing what's the best way to kind of, because I know you guys have social media, so you can I just type Salvation Army Roswell in Facebook and that takes me right to the page and all that. That's probably is that what it's titled? I don't even remember, but that gets you there. I know.
Yeah.
And that way you can like and follow, stay up to date on events that are upcoming. If you have questions about where to donate, how to donate, when you can donate, times, things like that. That's a great resource for information like that.
And everything should be uploaded to our Facebook page.
Okay.
If you, like you said, you type in the Salvation Army Roswell.
Mm-hmm. Maybe throw the NM
yes.
in. Otherwise, you'll learn what the Georgia Roswell.
True.
Which is fine. But
so by next week, we're hoping to have all this information that I shared, on the site, so people can see what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Bart.
Just really, really quick. We're going to start the golf tournament up again.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We don't have dates yet.
Okay. What do you have a time frame?
Sometime between May and June.
Okay, so looking early summer, late spring.
It depends on, going to NIMI, finding out what their schedule is, what is Spring River's schedule, what's the country club schedule.
I know from experience, get on there early because they have golf tourney season.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much when the weather's nice in Roswell.
Yeah.
And every weekend we have enough and it's great because we have a lot of great organizations that are doing great things in our community, but they do fill up the calendar pretty fast.
They really do.
On both golf courses.
On all three.
On all three. Okay. Yeah. It's the country club too is getting filled up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. That's a good thing.
We're going to do a 3-person, and the reason we do a 3-person is that way nobody has the need to take an extra mulligan or two.
Okay.
Not.
Although that's a great way to make money.
Yeah.
You sell them mulligans, y'all clean up.
Yeah. So on the golf tournament stuff, it's in the infancy.
Okay.
But if they have questions about it,
it's
okay if I give my phone number?
For the golf tournament?
For the golf tournament? Yeah.
Okay.
So for the golf tournament specifically, it's 575-416-0881.
Okay. And then just ask for Bart. He'll Bart will answer.
And again, it's this is what we want to do.
Okay.
Okay. And it's in the infancy again.
Okay.
All right.
In the planning stages.
Yeah. So it still has to go through the board. There's a lot of things that have to be done before that.
If you're looking to volunteer with the Salvation Army and maybe you're a golf aficionado, this might be your in.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can help you organize this event.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of golf scrambles. I've done this. I can help you organize it. So if you like to serve in that capacity, reach out to Bart here direct, and I'm sure he'll welcome you with open arms.
Absolutely.
So. Give out your phone number one more time, Bart, just so they can...
575-416-0881.
And if you're driving and don't remember any of that, if you go again to the Facebook page, shoot a message, say, I heard Bart, I didn't catch his number, can you and they'll get you in touch with Bart to make sure that trust me, if you have a desire to volunteer, we'll figure out a way to get you in touch with somebody. That's not the hard part. And again, so you can start dropping off toys now, right? The new unwrapped toys. Thinking about what was the age limit you said to about on that?
0 to 12.
0 to 12. So you thinking what's the cap for 12? They like for boys. I know you can go. You're safe with sports equipment, balls, footballs, basketballs, things.
Rifles.
There you go. Let the parents decide that one.
No rifles, please. No rifles.
But basketballs, baseballs, but things, and then whatever the latest. Whatever toys out, the GoBots or Transformer or whatever, G.I. Joe or I don't know. I don't have any kids, so I don't know the latest and greatest on the toys. But just think about it. Put it this way: my rule of thumb, when I walk through the toy lot, I'm like, yeah, that looks fun. I'd play with that. Then I get it. That's my rule because I'm not up on kids' latest and greatest toys. But don't I know. Some people like to go crazy and get bikes and stuff like that. Is that okay, or is
That's
that
okay?
Okay, cool.
Yes,
I didn't know because sometimes people are like, well, one kid's going to get a PlayStation, one kid's going to get a.
We get bikes every year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we get
the bigger toys too. If you'd like to donate, awesome. Bring them along. The Salvation Army would love to. And of course, if you want to donate items for the thrift store and all that too, because what doesn't help people in need directly, they turn around and sell. And, use that money to help people directly. So, whenever you donate stuff, as long as it's serviceable, good stuff, whether it's not directly helping someone or either way, it's going to help. So whether they put that sweater on a person or somebody buys that sweater in the thrift store, it's helping the Salvation Army. Doesn't really matter.
And for Thanksgiving, which is closer, we have a need for more turkeys.
Okay.
So about 15 turkeys.
So if anyone like to donate turkeys, reach out.
Yes, and we're looking for 30 pies. And it doesn't matter if it's pumpkin, apple,
pecan, whatever.
Especially pecan. That's good for this area.
Yeah, well, between pecan and pumpkin, that's usually your battle over the pumpkin pie, or the Thanksgiving pie. Like it's what the official one is. You're going to have the team pecan guys and gals, and then the team pumpkin people. And I'm going to lean pecan every time, but that's just me. I'm not a big pumpkin person. But
key lime pie.
Key lime? Yeah, that's a big...
Well, not to fight over them. I just get a little slice of each. And
there you go.
I'm okay.
Though if you put a piece of apple pie or and I'm a chocoholic, so anything with chocolate in it, I'm like if it's a chocolate pecan pie, I'll beat people up over that pie. I'll be like, no, that's my pie. I don't share so well on that one. But what's the store hour or the hours for folks there for the store and for folks that are just coming in that have needs?
Well, for the store itself, the best time is between 9:30 and 4:30.
Okay.
If they wanted to donate, things like that.
Okay.
Our office hours over at the main building, especially now, we're the only utility assistance that we have funding for right now is for gas.
Okay.
And we'll help families up to $150 one time.
Okay. So if they need like gas tanks filled and stuff and can't afford it for the coming winter here, you guys can help out a little bit with some of that.
We work directly with New Mexico Gas.
Okay, great.
So it doesn't go directly to the person.
Gotcha. But as far as if you need help with that, you can help directly.
So anything, if they're confused about any donations, especially like for food, for toys, for the Thanksgiving meals, for the pumpkin pies, the turkeys, they can deliver them to our main building, our admin building, which is our church building, and that's at 612 West College Boulevard.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just go on West College, you'll eventually run into everything there that the Salvation Army has. So think TPT, toys, pies, and turkeys. That's what they need.
Right, with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
If a sports injury is keeping you from the physical activities you love, the sports medicine team at Artesia General Hospital can help. Their orthopedic specialists and physical therapists work closely with you throughout diagnosis and treatment. No matter the injury, from ACL injuries, golfers and tennis elbow to foot and ankle pain, they'll get you back in the game. Appointments are available in Artesia or Carlsbad. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/sports.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. I'm a native New Mexican and I've lived here all my life. I graduated from NMSU and UNM law schools. The law has been my life. I don't make the laws, the legislature does. My job is to apply those laws to the facts without favoritism or political consideration, and I do that well. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th. I'm Eileen Reardon, District Court Judge. Thank you.
Paid for by the Committee to elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon and I approve this message.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Patrick Maloney from New York agrees. To the GOP and Florida's Senator Rick Scott, who was asked if he will accept the results of the election.
Absolutely, but what we're also going to do is do everything we can to make sure everybody, they're free and fair. And if anybody is doing, if there's any shenanigans, we are ready to make sure we support our candidates to make sure that these elections are fair and every ballot is counted the right way.
Both Scott and Maloney appeared on NBC's Meet the Press. I'm Shelley Adler.
Both President Biden and former President Trump have been stumping on behalf of their party's candidates. Mr. Biden holds a rally this evening in Maryland where the Democrats hope to retake the governorship. Mr. Trump will stage his own event in Ohio where GOP Senate candidate J.D. Vance is running in a state that has turned more reliably red in recent cycles. Damage assessment and cleanup are well underway in southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. Tornadoes cut a path of destruction across the region last week, blamed for at least 2 deaths. People have been pulling together in the midst of the disaster.
They were helping each other out. They were already out there with chainsaws and clearing the debris. We were working with our utilities to get that back on, and it could have been a lot worse.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt on Fox News Sunday. There is more threatening rhetoric from North Korea. Its military says recent missile tests were practice runs to attack key South Korean and U.S. targets, including military bases and command and control systems. Stocks have turned mixed now on Wall Street, with the Dow up 58 points and NASDAQ down 32 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader, here to remind you that God's gifts should never be taken for granted. Take, for example, your retirement savings. You've worked hard for your money, and God has rewarded you for that. Now, with record inflation eating away at the value of the U.S. dollar, those rewards are literally being taken from you. But there is a way the faithful can fight back. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected. And that's what God wants. Even better, a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group allows you to transfer your current retirement funds into gold without fees or penalties. To see how it works, text the word FAITH to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. That's FAITH to 989898. Take action right now, and I pray that your family is blessed with continued prosperity.
Satellite photos tell the horrible story. Images of mass grave sites in areas held by the Russians in Ukraine.
After a huge bombing campaign, Russia took control of Mariupol in the early stages of the war in Ukraine.
The Starry Crim mass burial site is located to the northwest of the city. The UK-based Centre for Information Resilience, which previously analysed images of the site in June, now estimates it holds more than 4,600 graves. It cannot tell from the images how many contain bodies, but witnesses and Ukrainian officials say many thousands are buried here. Maxar, the company that provided the new satellite photographs, said Starry Crim and 2 other mass burial sites in the area have been steadily growing since the spring.
The BBC's Hilary Anderson. Syrian government forces have shelled tent settlements, housing families displaced by the country's war in the rebel-held Northwest. News and analysis, townhall.com. Elon Musk threatening those who pretend to be someone they aren't on his newly purchased social media platform.
Sure, imitation may be a form of flattery, but apparently the new head of Twitter is not crazy about it. Elon Musk says his new electronic toy will permanently suspend any account that impersonates another. The warning comes after some celebrities decided to change their Twitter display names to make it appear that they were tweeting as Elon Musk. Among the culprits were comedian Kathy Griffin and actor Valerie Bertinelli. Griffin says her account was already suspended. The spoofing came after Musk's decision to offer verified accounts to anyone for just $8 a month, even after he laid off a big chunk of the Twitter workforce. I'm Oscar Wells Gabriel.
Apple warning customers they'll have to wait longer to get its latest iPhone models after antivirus restrictions were imposed on a contractor's factory in central China. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelation, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here on one. He deuced it. You got it. Tanner's ready to deuce it up if you weren't ready.
He's all set to deuce. Soft ocean deuce.
He had his deuce voice ready. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Election Day Eve. Mm-hmm. For those that have not voted yet.
Gonna have to wait.
If you early voted, well, then you just get to wait and watch tomorrow. Yeah. But if you did not early vote, you wait today to ponder, think, educate yourself, and then go out tomorrow and vote your conscience. Here, of course, I'm pretty excited. I think
it's going to be an interesting race.
I mean, all
the cards on the table.
I don't care what it is. It's always fun watching returns come into me, even if they're not the way you wanted. It's just, I don't know, the anticipation of it.
It's the one exciting part of politics.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a slog of like meetings and
you hate the rest of it. You don't want to listen to all the spiel and the ads and all the junk. You're so fed up with that.
This is politics chance to Sports Center for a night.
So even if things don't go your way tomorrow, at the very minimum, you won't have a slurry of political ads on Wednesday.
It's true. Oh, that's that's so true.
If you want a glass half full, regardless of how it goes.
One of the fun things during the election cycle, whether it be usually it's most prominent during presidential election seasons, but midterms it happens too, is just to flip around to the different stations just to see the different technologies they implement to like CNN.
And none of them are the same.
No, CNN is notorious for like turning their whole studio into this like AR experience where it's like augmented reality where like they walk over to this place and you see the seats in the house and all of a sudden they'll grow and then they'll shift or whatever. And then like they'll implement like the ground is shaking because a new return is out or something.
Well, and it amazes me because they'll allegedly they have the same information in front of them, but they report different things, and that's what makes me.
And we don't even do it the best. Let's be honest, Americans, we don't even do it the best. Have you ever seen? I think I showed you the video. Have you ever seen the way Koreans do their election return coverage?
I don't recall it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's okay. So they'll have like the pictures of the two candidates that are running.
Yeah.
And they'll have them like, they'll be showing like the next set of returns or whatever. And they'll have them like just their faces photoshopped onto boxers. And they'll be boxing. And then like the one who's winning will smack the other one out. And then like they'll fall. Or it'll be like kitties who are pulling like balls of yarn off. And like the one who's in the lead will have the most yarn at his feet.
They meme up the election
ridiculous.
basically.
And it's beautiful to watch. It's so entertaining. I'm like, this is how we should do it.
Well, and I would argue, because I'm sure there's some people that say, well, see, they're making a mockery out of something serious. I'm like,
Okay.
Really? Do you see what the people that are running are saying and doing? And you call this a mockery?
Just
It's
imagine.
Like, really?
Just imagine if during the 2020 returns, you had a Photoshop Joe Biden and Photoshop Donald Trump on top of two water skiing squirrels racing towards a thing. And then like whether whoever was winning, that water skiing squirrel would take off, it would further, and then they would just show the water skiing Trump squirrel jumping because he won Pennsylvania or whatever.
Well, if I had to pick my favorite, I'd like to go back to the days of The Price is Right and get the little yodeler climbing dude. And then like at the end, just woo, falls.
Let's go, Brandon.
He just yodel. I like to watch those.
I watched so much Price is Right growing up that I like would memorize the tonalities of the yodel. Yoda hooda, hoda hooda, hoda hooda, hoda. You gotta pull it up right now and find out if I'm right.
He's like, I'll nail it.
I almost want to. Let's see.
That's
See if I
my
find it.
that's my karaoke jam. The
That's
yodeler
right.
from The Price
Where
is
some
Right.
people do the yeah, I go with the yodeler from Price is Right.
Well, you got to be careful because if you throw too many of those in there, that ends up on the Pure Mood soundtrack. It's one of the singles. Enya will take that thing and steal it from you.
Ça, dis-moi.
All right, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show while he brings up the yodeling. I think that's what he's doing.
I'm totally bringing up the yodeler.
Here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather. Then we're going to replay our interview we had with Bill Williams, county manager for Chaves County, and Mike Espiritu with the EDC, talking about the Veterans Day proclamation they're going to do, a Veterans Proclamation they're going to do on Wednesday. Let me say it that way. And, of course, the Green Lights for Veterans campaign they've got going on. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a bit.
Indeed.
You have the yodeling?
I do.
Give it a
And
little away.
even better, it's from a classic Bob Barker episode.
Oh, very good. Classic vintage yodel.
Know enough about the prices of these three prizes, you'll be safe. What are those three prizes, Rich? Mini bag. The prize. 7. The prize.
There it is.
5. That pool line.
The crowd's messing it up.
$15, is that right? No.
Oh.
Here he goes. One step for every dollar you miss the prize.
I was so sick as a child so often that I stayed home to watch Price is Right enough that I could match the intonations of the yodeler.
Bob Barker's my nanny.
I was so mad when I got into broadcast entertainment and found out we don't all talk into super thin microphones.
Oh, I know. Him and Wink. Him and Wink had the lockdown on the super thin mics. Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
Best known as host of Tic Tac Doe.
Tic Tac Doe, and I believe Card Sharks.
Yeah,
too.
a bunch of others. Yeah, that's the one I remember him most from is Tic Tac Doe. Loved when the dragon popped up on the dough board. It was exciting to me as a child. Anyway, it's 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'm easy entertained. Yodeling and Digital Dragons from 1982.
Here's the problem, and here's why. Like the fact that I know that in my late 30s, that yodeler has been playing somewhere in the back of my mind for all that time. So as for me to not forget it, it's just back here somewhere.
And the problem is the Ricola ads are like PTSD. They triggers it every time.
Ricola.
And you're all of a sudden in your head, it's back. No, it's back.
Oh, voices.
All right. It is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's yodel on into the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have dry cold front dropping in on us today, so we may get a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine as well. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy, and we'll drop into the mid-50s. And then it looks like we'll stay cloudy tomorrow morning, but sunshine coming back in the afternoon and low to mid-70s, fair and close to 80 Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
But not today, not close to 80 today. Matter of fact, we won't get to the 70s. Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 66%. Winds currently out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Mostly sunny, high of 67 today. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. We do have a ever so slight chance of not rain, but drizzle tonight after 8 p.m. Patchy fog also could be on the rise after 8 p.m., otherwise mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 54 degrees. Winds will be out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, a slight chance of some drizzle once again before 11 a.m., then a slight chance of a few full-on rain showers and thunderstorms for after 11. Patchy fog will be lingering around till about 11 tomorrow, otherwise mostly cloudy. Warmer, highs back into the mid-70s tomorrow, 75 for a high with south winds 10 to 15 early, 15 to 20 later in the day. Our chance of rain tomorrow is at 10%, so it's a 90% chance it won't happen, just saying. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 56, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs near 80, 79 officially with south winds 15 to 20, so a little breezy. And then Thursday, sunny, highs back down to 70 and breezy. For you Veterans Day, Friday, sunny, highs back near 60. And then for the weekend, sunny and 57 Saturday. So might want to wear a light jacket for the Veterans Parade and for football Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday, sunny skies, highs expected to reach around 61. Let's see. It is about 15 minutes after 8, closing on 16 after. Let's go ahead and take a 3.5-minute commercial break. And then on the other side, we'll play our interview with Bill Williams, Chaves County Manager, and Mike Espiritu at the EDC, talking about the Veterans Assembly on the courthouse lawn Wednesday and their Green Lights for Veterans program. That's up next.
I'm Michelle Garcia Holmes, and I'm running for United States Congress. As a former policewoman, I put on my Kevlar vest, uniform, gun belt, grabbed my 12-gauge shotgun, jumped into my police car, and hit the city streets to keep you safe. I want to do the same for you in Washington. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th because our families deserve safe cities, a secure border, and lower gas prices.
Donate today at GarciaHolmesForCongress.com. Paid for by Michelle Garcia Holmes for Congress.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. The Medicare annual election period ends December 7th. So right now is the only time to make changes to your Medicare coverage. Medicare can be very confusing, so now is the time to visit Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, an insurance agency that offers Medicare health insurance plans. Contact Jeannie Muse at Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, 110 West Country Club, across from Bush Appliance. Remember, the annual election period ends December 7th.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
The The average American takes 8 to 10,000 steps each day, and for those suffering from foot problems, each one can be agonizing. The podiatry team at Artesia General Hospital can help diagnose and treat foot and ankle conditions, including diabetic foot issues, arthritis, bunions, or other problems. Doctors Joseph Marino and Joseph Krupa are podiatrists specializing in wound care, fracture care, foot and ankle surgery, and more. Put your feet in good hands. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/podiatry APPT.
Ready for some good economic news? Guess not. But New Mexico was 4th best in the nation to reduce its unemployment rate over the last 12 months. That's what the Bureau of Labor Statistics says. There are 2 strategies Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has championed that have a lot to do with this: the Job Training Incentive Program and the Local Economic Development Act. They help companies expand, hire, and train thousands of new workers each year. For example, the expansion of these training programs that Michelle Lujan Grisham got through the legislature helped land Intel's new chip hub in Rio Rancho. That's 1,000 construction jobs and 700 new hires at high salaries. The Lujan Grisham administration now partners with 85 communities across the state to bring good new jobs to their local areas every year. It's true. Michelle Lujan Grisham delivers a stronger economy, not just the weather.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from 2 different places, but with one heart. I'm just kidding. One common goal anyway here. We have, of course, Bill Williams, Chaves County Manager, with us, and Mike Espiritu with the Roswell Chaves County EDC. Good morning. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, good morning. Doing well? Yeah. It's been a while. We were talking, Mike, since how's life over at the EDC? Things, I know business seems hopping around town, so things must be pretty good.
Things are going well.
Yeah?
We're very busy, and pretty excited about the growth in Roswell.
A lot of new construction around town, a lot of, it just seems scuttlebutt. You hear the so-and-so's coming, you hear the new restaurant. Ooh, look, Popeyes is coming up. So it's all like different, or on there, got it. And it's all that seems to be just coming up here. So
You know that Popeyes, we actually worked that quite a bit, and that was actually supposed to be a smaller footprint. But when they realized the market, and the folks are actually the owners are out of San Diego,
sure,
and they actually said, well, we're going to go back and redraw this site, and we're going to double the footprint. So that's why it's going to be a big Popeyes,
yeah,
with a double drive-through like some of the other big,
and I'm trying to just to kind of just because we have a comparison now, so I'm assuming it'll be bigger than the one that they opened in Artesia.
Yes.
A couple months ago, whenever that opened.
And they're building. They're also building Alamogordo, and if you saw the one in Alamogordo they're building, it looks tiny.
Oh, really?
Contrast, to that one we'll have.
So we got the big one.
Yeah, we got the big one.
We got the Popeyes that ate spinach.
Mike convinced him that we would eat chicken in Roswell. That's right. That's right.
I'm not going to lie.
Bring your A-team.
I've always been a fan of their beans and rice, like over the years, and I'm not going to lie. I haven't had it in years because we don't have a Popeyes. So unless I'm out of town and happen to be near one, I never get to do it. So
yeah.
I will be looking forward to when I can have some of their beans and rice.
I was in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm, and they had a Popeyes in their little shopping center down there. And we would go there. It wasn't quite the same, but it was fairly close.
Yeah.
But in Saudi Arabia, Popeyes.
I was in Kuwait, and they had their competition over there as well. A man with rank was in Kuwait, but and the big reason is because there's no pork. There's no chicken or no pork at Popeyes, so you can
the other white meat.
Yeah, so there's a lot of yeah. Needless to say, the rib shacks don't do so well in the Middle East.
Fact.
Not a big fan of bacon over there. So. Well, speaking of being overseas and veterans here, that's what we're talking about here. Of course, last week when you were on, we kind of teased this a little bit, Bill, but kind of expound this Green for Veterans initiative that you guys are working on here.
The Chaves County Commission passed a resolution last Thursday for Operation Green Light for Veterans. And what we've done is we've committed to lighting all of our county buildings
for the entire month. They suggested we do it for the week of Veterans Week from the 7th to the 13th. But we decided, well, if we're going to do this, let's do it for the entire month. So we're lighting our courthouse, both the front and the back, so you can go down Virginia Street. It's really quite different the way it looks on the rear and compared to the front.
I always look from the front, so I think that might be this time I'm going to go the back way.
It's a real fun trip. It's a destination. And then we also did the Chaves County Administration Building.
Okay.
And those all three came out great. We draped them in green light in honor of veterans who are returning from active duty into their communities. And they say there's about 200,000 a year that return to their communities and try to assimilate back into the way things are done. And so we passed a resolution last Thursday honoring them, saying that we were going to light our buildings for a month. And then as a part of that, what we've decided we wanted to do, and we didn't want to horn in on the usual Veterans Day
all the
programs
celebrations
that are
and
going
things,
on, because
all the schools and
there are people that do this,
the citywide one, and all
do
that,
a great job, and the county, we don't do this whole lot, so we just said we want to do something special for them, but we don't want to necessarily take away from the great things.
Do something
else
that's kind of
doing.
in concert with everything else that's going on.
And so on Wednesday, the 9th, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So 1 week from yesterday.
We are going to present a proclamation from the Chaves County Commission to each of the we're calling it Veterans Appreciation Day.
Okay.
And we would like to present a copy of that to a representative from each of the members of the armed services.
Oh, very
and since
cool.
I'm not an armed services member, unfortunately, Mike has graciously stepped up and is helping me to navigate, who we can get and how we can get that, and understands that process certainly much better than I
you said, you've chewed some dirt in the veterans world here, so and any veteran knows that veterans can make other veterans do things. That's just something that there's an inherent gift there. I don't know.
I think it's an inherent understanding.
Yeah, that's it. Sure, that's what it really is. It's like, all right, that we can, regardless, and that's just as a veteran myself, I just know doesn't matter what branch you served, where you served, when you served. You can kind of always spot your own kind out a little bit, or people that have been and experienced that, and it's not just haircuts either. It's just mannerisms, the way they talk. Just there's certain things that you pick up when, I don't care if you served one enlistment or served a full career in it. You pick up some of these tendencies, and they stay with you for your whole life. And you just veterans know it. We can smell it.
Well, it's great to really be able to honor veterans, because I don't think there's anyone in the community, whether they've been a military person or not, that doesn't have some ties. And I was thinking about it on the way over here this morning. I have 2 brothers and a brother-in-law right here in town that were all veterans. And like you said, one of them's a Marine, and certainly there's some kind of I don't know how they do it, but they all know when someone's a Marine, and they jump on it. I'm sure you Air Force guys do the same. And
sure,
it's a bond, right?
Yeah,
it's a bond because of those life experiences.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the other thing too: is because military rib each other. The Air Force, Army, Navy calling the Marines jarheads. They're all calling the Navy guys squibs or something else. We're chair force, or for us Air Force guys, or stuff. It's always jokes of like, hey, how was your hotel room for the war last night, kind of thing, And then Army, we just tell them, couldn't get a good enough ASVAB score to get in the Navy or the Air Force, and we all do that, right? But the rule is we can do it, but you ever see that there's a meme I see on Facebook all the time, and it's from Goodfellas, and it's like 2 pictures, and it's like when the military ribs each other, and it shows the Goodfellas guys all laughing and hanging out, and he goes, but when outsiders make fun of military and they're all sitting, you look like you're about to kill you. I was like, that sums up pretty much how that works on the military stuff there.
Yeah, well, with military, it's the majority of folks in our world today have chosen to serve our country.
Sure.
And sadly, I think the last time we had a draft was in Vietnam, right?
Vietnam.
So, it's interesting to understand the complexities with our own federal government, right? Our lawmakers, how many are not service connected, and their viewpoints on veterans and the militaries. And that's why I think it's so important that our military veterans, whether they're served, like you said, 1 term or 20 plus years, that they continue to serve in their own capacities, in their own ways. And I think that's kind of cool, especially for a community.
Absolutely. So this is why we honor veterans and things. But it sounds like with the county, this is pretty cool with the green and so how is all this working? Is there someone stringing all these green lights, or how does all this?
Shout out, kudos to the facility maintenance crew from Chaves County. They've done a great job.
Nice.
We've been planning this for about a month and a half, and we purchased some lights and tried them. Well, those didn't quite work, and then we sent those back and tried something a little different, and finally think we have a pretty good combination of things. And they've started putting them out. They may add a few more lights or make some adjustments, but generally speaking, the lights are all out and ready to go. This is part of the National Association of Counties. Is the one that put us onto it. So Chairman Cavan, he's a board member on National Association of Counties on the Western Interstate region, and he's all in.
Good. So we're going to see some other counties around the state doing the same thing?
In fact, I was looking this morning. San Juan County has posted some pictures of their stuff, and so I'm going to share ours with them. We'll share ours with the New Mexico County's website, and we want to kind of encourage people in our community. This is not only for federal buildings or state buildings or
do it at your home.
Government buildings. Mm-hmm. We're encouraging people to put a green light, just one light bulb,
matter of fact, I'll ask
in their homes or businesses.
My guest next hour happened to be the gentleman from Xcel Energy, so maybe we can.
Well, funny you should mention Xcel Energy. So
maybe we can ask them what they know where we can get some of that.
Xcel Energy is a great partner in everything that we do within our community. Ask Mike, the economic development person. I mean, and he can tell you how great they are on so many levels and so many things. I made a call yesterday and said we would like to hand out some light bulbs to the community, green light bulbs, so people can light up their home or their business.
Sure. Show their support.
Their support of veterans.
Change your porch lights with the green lights.
I called Mike McLeod from our local Xcel Energy, and Mike says, no problem.
Awesome.
How many can we get?
Nice.
And so we have a large number of light bulbs that will be available. We're going to hand them out.
I will thank him personally next hour when we see him in here.
Yeah, I mean that was really. I mean, no questions asked. How many can you get? And
it's pretty neat. They just had those laying around. Like, we got a bunch of. What other colors do you need?
but we'll have light bulbs to hand out, and like I say, we want to encourage people to do that in their homes, businesses, and I kind of want to challenge people to start posting pictures on Facebook. Let's load it up with green lights to really show people.
Get your green on and show how you're celebrating or how you're honoring.
I sent you both 3 pictures of our county buildings last night, just showing kind of what it is, and it's awesome. It's pretty cool.
It looks
the way
really cool.
Stands out.
I was going to have them put up there, but we'll have to do that later. The person who, never mind. But we'll try to get those put up there. But or better yet, just drive your happy self right in front of these buildings and see if you might be want to wait till dark when it has a better impact on there.
Need to wait till dark.
But I imagine it's kind of, speaking of lights, because they've already kind of started setting up some of the Christmas lights here down in the city. So if you're looking here on the courthouse lawn, the most of the bottom, the trunk parts are all lit up. So it's kind of making that pathway cool. So take that white lights, pair it with the green from the court. That's going to be a really pretty downtown here for the next week
our
or two,
facility maintenance guys, they turned off some of the exterior lights, but they also left on exterior lights, and the contrast is really good. The photo I took last night of the courthouse from Main Street, it's really striking. The War Memorial, which again is something to honor the veterans and their service and the ultimate sacrifice many of them made, of course, but it's not bathed in green light. So you have the brown, the colors there, and then behind it is this green courthouse. Is just really striking. I was just really impressed.
It is. It does look good. It looks very. I hope everyone.
We need someone like Juliana to take photos of it. She takes photos of everything, and every photo she takes is perfect.
Well, I got a funny feeling between now and then there's going to be some photos in her camera from of the courthouse. And
we'll have to do some
stuff.
challenges to her to do that for us. So.
But on the 9th of November, next week, we have a very nice ceremony. It'll be brief, about 30 minutes long.
Right.
And Bill and I have been working on that. We're going to have the representatives from the different services there.
Okay. And where's the ceremony?
It's going to be in the front of the county courthouse.
Okay, right there by the Veterans Memorial.
Right on the front steps.
Right on the front steps. It'll be at noon.
Okay.
Noon on the 9th.
Okay.
NIMI will be there. They're going to have their color guard there. And we'll have Tom Blake singing our national anthem.
Nobody sings the national anthem.
Well, I have to say, because as someone who we're the ones who are doing the Veterans Parade with the American Legion and all that, Tom Blake will also. He's tradition. You can't have a veterans or really any patriotic solemn ceremony without Tom Blake leading us with some music. And so.
He also does "God Bless the USA" pretty well. Also,
he does.
Yes.
I've heard it a few times. Yeah, he does a good version of it.
Yeah.
And Tom's when he's not, preaching and doing his work there, he does pretty good music there too. So.
Yeah, very talented.
But we're going to do, like Mike said, we'll read the proclamation. We'll read the resolution that was passed last Thursday as well. So,
what time does that get underway next Wednesday?
Noon, 12 noon.
Well, high noon, right on the courthouse lawn steps there.
And the public's invited. Everyone's invited.
Yeah, come on out.
Because there's so many connections, as Bill mentioned earlier, to veterans, those on active duty as well. Those have left service.
Maybe grab a sack lunch and sit out on the lawn.
Absolutely.
And watch it,
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather will be, knock on wood, cooperating with us next Wednesday. It's supposed to be like mid-upper 70s all next week, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I checked it last week. It's only good so many days out, and then it starts to get
a
little gray.
Yeah.
But it appeared that it was going to be really good, that all of our storms and stuff are going to hit prior to that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we think we're going to have a great day.
Yeah.
And I would also like, what we're talking about, all the veterans and honoring our veterans, remind folks, too, that vets, everybody look out for veterans, too.
Mm-hmm.
If you know these vets that, we want to celebrate and honor veterans, but we also want to use this as a time to remind our veterans that are in need that, there are services, there are ways if there's veterans out there, is anybody struggling, but, since we're focusing on veterans right now, if they're struggling, tell them there's resources. I know from personal experience, vets aren't always the most forthcoming when it comes to asking for help and things like that. We're stubborn as all get out sometimes. And so sometimes we need a little tough love. But if vets in need, please reach out to other vets. If you're not a vet yourself and I can't get through, talk to some vet friends and see if they can maybe talk to your vet friends and see if they can, but please keep look out for these folks.
Right. That's a big part of this Operation Greenlight is to show people not only are they returning to our communities, and we're thankful for all the work that they've done and the sacrifices they've made being away from their families, engaging on the battlefield, but sometimes they need some help. And it might be a monetary thing. It might be a health care thing. And, it might be baggage they're bringing home. And every community has things in place to assist veterans, and we want to be sure and highlight that and help people like me who've not been in the military to understand that we need to do all we can to make sure that they get any help they need and they get our support and, the pat on the back. Yeah. People like Magel Duran, we were talking about Magel the other day. He has a whole series of transport vans to get veterans to places they need to be, whether it's a doctor's appointment or whatever. That group, and
they can always use more volunteers, by the way.
And they're all military people. They've never quit. You know, it's pretty amazing stuff.
They drive vets. It could be Albuquerque, could be Lubbock, could be El Paso, Artesia. Wherever the vets need to go for their appointments, this group of volunteers do that, and they could use more volunteers. By the way. If you are a veteran that would like to ride in the Veterans Parade next Saturday, is that next week? Yeah, I guess it would be next Saturday, wouldn't it? Woo! Time's getting quick on us. Yeah. Reach out to Magel and all the guys at the Veterans Transport. They're looking to pick up. They said they'll go to the assisted living places, wherever they need to go to pick up vets to bring them and let them be a part of the parade here next Saturday. So reach out to them.
That's really neat.
Yeah, and you can reach them through the American Legion as well.
Yeah, American Legion Post 28 or 61 will get you in contact with him. No problem. He's with 28 officially, but we're all connected and we know people.
Just like you said earlier,
we'll make sure we get you in the right hands with all that good stuff too. So it's a great organization there that does some great volunteer, and they're always looking for more volunteers. Matter of fact, there's a guy that named Don Weld he volunteers in a bunch of stuff and Bitter Lake and things, but he's one of the drivers there for the Veterans Transport, and they're always looking for new even if you just one day a week or one day a month, whatever it is, they could appreciate it because every shift they can get someone to fill it. That's one less person has to do the other one.
Something else that they do that everybody doesn't know. Magel works very hard to make sure they have great vehicles to haul people around, make sure they're equipped properly. And Chaves County has assisted them with getting their vehicles purchased, picked up, procured, the whole part. But when they have a van that they're no longer using, they make sure that they get that to another community that needs to start something.
Sure.
Like this. So
I
don't know how many communities he's assisted by giving them just an old van to get them going. So they really are reaching out to everybody and trying to make this spread.
It's that ingenuity that a lot of veterans experienced in their time of service, I'm sure. So.
Yeah.
So please join us. Come on out to our event next Wednesday at high noon. Come as we celebrate our veterans. Come and see the courthouse and the Chaves County Admin Building in its green splendor for the next month here through the month of November.
Yep. And get a green light bulb, put it at your house or business.
Yeah.
Everybody post pictures to show the veterans the support.
It'd be really we'd cool. Like to see that a whole neighborhood. And we got to do it because we've got a sweet spot but it's a very small window because the Christmas lights are going to be coming up.
That's what I was just thinking. Can Jesse McDaniel put green lights all over his neighborhood and then get him down and get his Christmas decorations?
Maybe use them like runway lights. He can get all the green, line it up to his house, and then then his beacon of I'm pretty sure Excel Energy gets a nice stipend from Jesse every year. Yeah. We'll have a section just there for him on all that stuff. So, but very cool. And then, of course, if anybody has any questions, they can call call the county, and they'll be happy.
We'll be happy to tell you. We're going to make sure we get this all posted on Facebook. We've got flyers being made. We're going to post those in Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, because we want this to be a community-wide event, not just a downtown Roswell or anything. We want everyone to understand.
So can they come by, I guess, the county admin building to pick up the green light bulbs?
Well, we're going to hand those out at the event.
Okay. And so come out next Wednesday and get the light bulbs.
We're kind of limited on how many we were able to get in
first
short
come,
notice.
First serve, yeah.
But you can order those online. I'm sure that there's still some at Home Depot.
Yeah, I see the hardware stores usually have especially this time of year.
We're going to do this for a while, and deliveries are pretty quick. If they don't have them in town, you ought to be able to get one pretty easily. But we're going to hand out a good number to the crowd. Hopefully we'll run out. Hopefully we'll have that kind of an event. Yep. But we'll see. We'll see how far they go.
Absolutely. And of course, if you are a veteran, need any kind of resources, don't hesitate to reach out. We have two great American Legion posts. We have an awesome VFW post, all serving veterans, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. There is so many people behind that, other veterans organizations, other organizations that they just help people. They don't care, your Homes for Heroes, all the kinds of different organizations, and reach out to whichever ones you prefer, or talk to your religious folks. They'll help you equally as much. But if you're looking, roll into the New Mexico Department of Health, any of those, check in about, see what services you are entitled to as a veteran as well too.
And we've got veteran services over at 1606 South Main, or Southeast Main actually. So they provide.
And that might be your
idea
first
what
stop.
All they
but
they
that
do.
might be your first stop if you're trying to get some in-depth, especially if you're trying to unlock benefits and things like that.
Yeah, they can help people get their DD-214s and stuff like that.
I
guess
tricky.
you guys know you always hang on to those because your records always get lost. But that's the one thing I understand about military is you keep your DD-214.
That was what they told me, and I'm sure Mike as well here when you're going through your separation or retiring there. They give you the one copy of your DD-214. They tell you if you lose it, this is it. So they say make copies. They even recommend you register them with the clerks, like your local clerk's office. Yeah. That way it's a public document. Therefore, if you do lose it, you can get a copy relatively easily. Now, that being said, if you do lose it, you can recover it. But it does take a little bit of magic you gotta get a hold of the right people and stuff. So if you are having that, if you did lose talk to a vet rep or something, they can help you navigate through that process. But it does. And for those that just got one or have one, don't lose them. Hold on to them. You'll be amazed how many times I've been out 20 plus years and I've had to pull it out a few times to things like VA loans, my just simple stuff like your driver's license or your like if you want veteran plates, stuff like that. That kind of gets you. Which now I got to do the veterans. I'm gonna I didn't know you could do that. Put the V on your license plate or not your license plate, your driver's license. As a veteran, you need, and then I didn't know that till 4 years ago when I got my plates, and they were like, "Oh, if, we can get you." So,
are your speeding tickets half price if you get a V on your driver's license?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I figured you would know, Mike.
No, but it's kind of handy when like if you want to get discounts and things, and people are like, "Oh, you have
veterans
your
discount." You just show them your driver's license. That's actually
and I didn't retire military, so I don't have a retired military ID. I just got my old, and so putting that V on there that makes it on an official ID, so it makes it easier.
It doesn't cost you anything when you do that.
Yeah,
so
exactly, and that way you can flash it. It's just like showing an ID card or something like that. Right. So it carries the same weight. So otherwise, I'm like, I'll take you out back. You can see my license plate on my car. It's got, that I had to show official paperwork to get that. So
you can get into Sam's Club if you have a V on your license.
Right.
Driver's license.
But yeah, it's a good thing to take advantage of. Get discounts here and there, and every vet, I encourage you, take advantage of them. You've earned your service. You got yelled at for a lot of stuff, or had to peel potatoes, or had to do other things to take care of this. You deserve those discounts, and you deserve all that.
Yes,
you had to paint rocks.
But more importantly, you were prepared to do whatever it took to protect the rest of us. So.
Absolutely. So, Mike, or is there anything that we wanted to mention here that we just skipped or didn't get a chance to talk about?
Well, there's also little known but not much talked about, but it's also the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War era.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, our federal government wants to recognize all those that served in that era. And I've worked with Magellan and Tony with that post in the American Legion. What I'm attempting to do for this area is to identify people that served during that period of time. And there's a small gift that's free, and you don't have to show any proof or anything else, but we just need a number so I can obtain these. They're little Vietnam veteran pins, and they're very, very nice.
Okay.
And what I've asked our American Legion to do is just give me a number so I know how many pins to order, and I'll be happy to disperse that back to the American Legion or whatever agency that wants to have those, or even call me directly at the EDC, and I just need a number so I can order them.
Okay.
And I want to make sure every Vietnam era vet receives one. Again, there's no cost to the veteran. It's just a matter of I just need to know
who
they are so I get a number.
Obviously, our Legionnaires and our VFW members reach out to Mike, but if you individual groups as well, if you're like, hey, we got a whole group of Vietnam vets over here, reach out to Mike and let's get you on the list here. So
well, and there's more than just one pin for the vets. There's also one for vet families. There's also there's like 4 or 5 categories.
Any veteran knows that the family is as much a service as the actual service person that signed their name on the dotted line.
Wow. Absolutely, it's they're all actually one family. It's all part of it, right? So, but yeah, happy to do that. Again, there's no cost to anyone. Believe it or not, it's free, which is kind of remarkable these days. But more importantly, it's a way to recognize and finally thank our Vietnam era veterans for serving and taking care of our country. Because as you recall, back in that day, I think you might be old enough, Mike, that you remember that was the first war brought to our TV sets at home when we were kids.
It was on the 6 o'clock news every night.
And we watched that stuff as young people, and we were absolutely, But anyway,
it wasn't a popular war, and let's face it, we did not honor our troops when they came home after Vietnam, and quite frankly, I think we need to spend the rest of their lives making good for that.
Yeah.
And that's, thank goodness, it's about 10, 20 years too late, but they are now getting on that and saying, you know what, we kind of did them dirty. We need to make good for that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are no longer with us that don't get to experience the make good part of that. But because I would imagine, I have no numbers, and I'm just spitballing ideas out here, but I would imagine there's as many Vietnam veteran deaths after that war as probably the killed in action, because of suicide or mental health or whatever else after that war. And some probably triggered directly, but I bet a large percentage of those indirectly triggered by that. So, but that's the lesson we're learning, and I think because of that, our military and everything else is now taking the mental health and PTSD and that side of of military a lot more serious. Unfortunately, the Vietnam vets are the ones that had to teach us that lesson.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to recognize that, and they can just call Tony at the post and tell him, hey, it's I just need a number from Tony, and I'll order the pins, and we'll get them to him. So
absolutely,
no, it's not ceremonial. It's just a matter of giving them a
just
small
a
token
of
appreciation. And that's what really it's all about. So happy to do that for the community.
And come on. We're military people. It's one more thing. If you don't have coins, use pins. And when you're with your buddies, you get out of paying for drinks. So nothing else. Use it for that. No, it means much more than that. But that's a military mindset. That's just how it is. And so, but please join us next Wednesday on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn steps.
High noon.
Come on out. Well, like we said, while supplies last, they'll be giving away the green light bulbs. But come and hear our short little ceremony honoring our veterans and honoring those that have made that have made sacrifices.
And regardless of Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, there will be someone there to receive the plaque on behalf of your
branch of
service.
Very good.
So you can group up and throw rocks at the.
That's right.
At the competition, whatever you guys do to have good.
No, public will celebrate each other. It's the mingling among the crowd. It's like, who let you guys in?
Good wholesome fun. Chavez County Courthouse.
Why is the name on the back of your pants? You can't remember who you are. All that kind of stuff.
Air Force didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't have it. That was Navy.
Any Navy people? I'm neutral in this. Don't hunt me
That's
down.
right.
It's these two.
They got their whole things too, and so. But anyway, it's all good fun.
Yeah, we'd sure love to see a lot of folks out there
Yes.
to recognize the different branches of service that served our nation.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
And that's why
Right.
it's a brief ceremony, and we hope to see a lot of folks out there.
Yeah, come out.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
about the ceremony. That's why we're trying to keep it brief. We just want it to be about the people that served and the idea. So.
And I invite you, all of our veterans, to please participate in all the school veteran ceremonies, and obviously the Saturday after Veterans Day, the city event that'll be taking place, put on by our American Legions and our VFW posts and all of our other volunteers there. So,
And also, Mike, the same day, and it's a little bit of conflict with our event at noon, at 11 o'clock at the university, at Eastern New Mexico University here in Roswell, they have a ribbon cutting ceremony at 11 o'clock for the new Veterans Center.
Oh, great.
Learning Center at 11 o'clock. And you can make both. I plan on doing both. So I think it would be a nice touch if we had some veterans out there to take advantage of that.
Sure.
And see that opportunity, because they've reopened. They are reopening that center, and I think that's a good piece for the veterans in our community.
I hope every
by
veteran
university.
that is currently a student there at ENMUR will be there and will utilize that facility right out the gate here. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
So that's at 11 next Wednesday
at the college.
at the campus. There.
campus.
So, very good. Well, gentlemen, appreciate the visit. Thanks for getting up early and hanging out with us.
Thanks
here.
for letting us in on such short
Oh,
notice.
no problem.
We appreciate you.
What's your official burrito routine on a Wednesday?
On a
Thursday?
Wednesday, I hope
Or on
that
a
it
Thursday,
means
I'm sorry.
Mike Espiritu is going to buy the burritos. That's what I think is I think that's the protocol.
When he comes in on his Friday visit, him and his wife go have burritos and everything before they come. But so
that's our date day.
Well, I think
my wife's easy to.
Well, I think you're gonna have to buy him the burrito today.
Probably so. That's okay. I'm good with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
Thank you
your
for
support.
everything you guys are doing. We'll see you here next time. Okay.
You bet.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Appreciate
you
your
for
support.
everything you guys are doing. We'll see you here next time. Okay.
You bet.
Thanks a lot.
All right. It is 7:51. Let us pause for local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The ENMU Turkey Trot is scheduled for November 19th. Runners and walkers of all ages are invited to join ENMU Roswell for the 5K or the 1 mile fun run. The event benefits the ENMU Roswell Campus Food Pantry and Friends of Roswell Animals. Your entry fee is simply a can of non-perishable food, canned fruits, canned vegetables, soups, and or a can or bag of dog or cat food. Pedigree adult and puppy dog food, Purina Kitten Chow and Purina Cat Chow complete are preferred. Oil and gas tax revenues have been soaring in Eddy County these last few months, but the revenues are expected to simmer down in the coming months. That's according to Eddy County Finance Director Roberta Smith. The county collected $9.9 million in the month of September, she said. By the end of the fiscal year, the county is estimated to rake in $39.5 million. West Texas Intermediate crude oil is hovering about $95 a barrel after rising to almost $130 a barrel earlier this year. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have dry cold front dropping in on us today, so we may get a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine as well. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy, and we'll drop into the mid-50s. And then it looks like we'll stay cloudy tomorrow morning, but sunshine coming back in the afternoon and low to mid-70s, fair and close to 80 Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. America's employers kept hiring in October, adding 261,000 positions, a sign that as Election Day nears, the economy remains a picture of solid growth and painful inflation. Friday's report from the government showed that hiring was brisk across industries last month. Twitter began widespread layoffs Friday as the new owner, Elon Musk, overhauls the company, raising grave concerns about chaos and the ability to fight disinformation just days ahead of the U.S. midterm elections. The National Labor Relations Board says Chipotle Mexican Grill violated federal law by closing a restaurant in Augusta, Maine, where workers were trying to unionize. The employees filed an NLRB petition in June asking to hold a union election, becoming the first of the Mexican food chain's restaurants to file such a petition. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
You're invited to the annual Veterans Day Parade and Celebration, Saturday, November 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Featuring guest speakers Sean Nicholson, music from Matt Miller and Tom Blake, and the laying of the wreaths by the Cub Scouts. The parade begins at 10 a.m. and moves north from the courthouse to the Wool Bowl. And enjoy special displays and food vendors after the parade in the Wool Bowl parking lot. To be a part of the event, contact Stephen Lee with the American Legion at 720-272-1455. Join us Saturday, November 12th, 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Sponsored by Roswell Ford.
Plateau Wireless delivers the speed you need. With low rates, no data caps, no hidden fees, and no throttling, now's the time to sign up. Go for the True 100 with super fast 100 megs upload and download speeds. Perfect for sharing, HD streaming, working and learning from home, and more. Or go for the True 500, delivering the power and speed you need for 4K streaming, gaming, downloading, and more. With plans starting at just $60 a month, it's never made more sense to switch. Visit in-store, visit plateautel.com, or call 877-752-8328. Plateau Wireless, a proud supporter of our veterans.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. When I put on that black robe, my thought process zooms in and focuses on the law. Nothing but the law. Just because I like you or don't, or because you're a Republican or Democrat, in this courtroom, it doesn't matter. The evidence presented and the law that the legislature passed are the only things that matter. This is hallowed ground, and I don't play favorites. I rule by the letter of the law. I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon, and I'm asking for your vote November 8th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Reardon. Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. facility. Equal opportunity employer.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8:58. Stay tuned next hour. About 9:15, we're going to replay our interview we had with Wes Reeves and Mike McLeod from Excel Energy. They gave us an update what's happening to Excel and talking about some things they've got going on here during the holiday season. So we'll play that for you next hour. Don't forget, we do have football for you Friday and Saturday with Goddard and Roswell and Artesia. But we also have volleyball state playoffs for you that will be on the radio later this week. The Goddard Lady Rockets are the 1 seed. Artesia Lady Bulldogs, the 3 seed in the 4A state playoffs for volleyball. Their first games, they both got byes. So their first games will be Thursday, 3 o'clock. And we will have the Artesia game on 990 AM on the radio and the Goddard Lady Rockets championship run right here, 3 o'clock Thursday. We'll start that game. If they win, they don't play till the next day. I think they'll play later that night if they lose. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a double elimination this year for the volleyball. They used to do pool play and then put them in, but now it's a double elimination like a softball, how they do in softball state playoffs. So it's a little different this year, but they're the 1 seed, and we'll play 3 o'clock Thursday. We'll have it right here on the radio for you. Kelly McDonald will be there at the Rio Rancho Star Center, wherever it's called now, and call the game for you. All right, it's closing on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News come up next. We'll be back.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It is getting down to the wire for the candidates in tomorrow's midterm elections. They're out making their last-minute appeals to the voters. President Biden has been stumping for Democrats, while former President Trump for the Republicans is blasting Biden and the Dems for their handling of the economy, and that includes the energy sector.
We're $1.87 a gallon for gasoline. Think of that, $1.87. Now today in California, they just broke $8 a gallon.
Vice President Harris trying to get out the vote in Chicago.
When you vote, it's kind of like putting in your order. This is what I want from my country. This is what I want from my leaders.
There is a lot at stake in the midterms, the elections determining control of Congress, ultimately the fate of President Biden's agenda.
Analysts and experts project that Democrats are unlikely to retain control of both the House and the Senate. With Republicans well positioned to take control of at least the House, President Biden is likely to face roadblocks as he finishes the last 2 years of his term. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, positioned to become House Speaker if the GOP takes the chamber, has vowed to immediately open a probe into the FBI's search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. A GOP majority could also open investigations into the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan and the Department of Justice, as well as the business dealings of Hunter Biden. Bernie Bennett reporting.
While more than 100 world leaders meet this week for a highly publicized climate summit in Egypt, that event is notable for who is not there: China, Russia, and India, having none of it. A deadly air disaster in Tanzania, East Africa. A plane plunged into Lake Victoria. All 19 people on board were killed. Watching Wall Street, the Dow up 214 points, the Nasdaq ahead 12, the S&P better by 13. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader, here to remind you that God's gifts should never be taken for granted. Take, for example, your retirement savings. You've worked hard for your money, and God has rewarded you for that. Now, with record inflation eating away at the value of the U.S. dollar, those rewards are literally being taken from you. But there is a way the faithful can fight back. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected. And that's what God wants. Even better, a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group allows you to transfer your current retirement funds into gold without fees or penalties. To see how it works, text the word FAITH to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. That's FAITH to 989898. Take action right now, and I pray that your family is blessed with continued prosperity.
One of Australia's largest health insurers targeted by hackers. A ransomware attack, a demand the company insists it will not meet.
The hack at Medibank is much worse than previously thought. Last month, the Australian health insurance company said the personal details of about 4 million current and former customers had potentially been stolen. It now believes almost 10 million people are affected. Sensitive information about medical conditions and procedures have been compromised. Medibank has insisted it won't pay a ransom. It said if it did, it would only encourage more cyber attacks by extortionists.
And that's the BBC's Phil Mercer. More than 6 months after Russian forces retreated from the towns around the Ukrainian capital, residents of that region still struggling to rebuild their lives. News and analysis at townhall.com. Looks like you're going to have to wait a bit longer to get your hands on that shiny new iPhone.
Apple Sunday issued a warning to customers. Antivirus restrictions imposed on a contractor's factory in central China are going to delay delivery of the new models. The company didn't offer any details in the announcement, but said the factory operated by Foxconn in the central city of Zhengzhou is, quote, operating at a significantly reduced capacity. Ron DeRockster reporting.
Looking to clean up Twitter, Elon Musk says the social media platform will permanently suspend any account that impersonates another. The platform's new owner issued the warning the other day after some Hollywood celebs changed their Twitter display names to Elon Musk. It was in reaction to the billionaire's decision to offer that vaunted blue checkmark, a verified account, to anyone for a fee of $8 a month. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. I know it requires a second half to remind you to be happy.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on. We got football playoffs.
That's right.
We got
busy.
Elections. We got a cornucopia thing.
Mm-hmm. A cacophony, if you will.
Yeah. So definitely get out there and get her done.
Mm-hmm.
So, you teased a story in the 7 o'clock hour.
Yes, I did. Okay,
please share if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, well, for those who don't know, I'm incredibly nearsighted. I mean, if the Coke bottle goggles didn't give it away, I'm pretty nearsighted. So, what I've taken to doing as of late, because I can sit there and try to squint at when I'm at like a restaurant and try to see the menu, and a lot of times I will do that. Once I get up to the plate, like up to the counter, I can usually see it no problem.
Right.
But etiquette states you want to have your order ready before you get to the counter so you're not making the people behind you upset.
That is
right?
something, especially like East Coast, New York City.
Yeah.
That's kind of
You've had all this time in line. Get your order in order.
Operating procedure.
Before you get to the front. So you're not, taking up people's time.
It's not the first time you've been in McDonald's. Come on now. You know what's on the menu.
So
figure it out.
That's what I say. I say, freaking figure it out.
Figure it out.
So what I've been taking to doing as of late is, as I'm standing in line, 2, 3 back in the line, I'll pull my phone out and I'll take a picture of the menu, or I'll zoom into the menu, and that way on my phone, in big bold letters, I can see what I'm looking for.
It's the modern day version of the magnifying glass.
It is.
That always sat by old people's.
Guaranteed, if Sherlock
chairs.
Holmes was doing his thing today, he'd be out there with a smartphone and the zoom feature, just looking for stuff. So that's kind of what I was doing, or that's what I've taken to doing. So, cut to Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, bear in mind, we're all very stressed out because the crew that I was with and I had been pretty much the whole morning looking for an Einstein Brothers bagels that we were convinced didn't exist.
But you looked anyway?
Everywhere for it. We finally figured it out. It was inside of Circus. Okay? So we go through the gigantic maze that is Circus. To get to this Einstein Brothers bagels that we finally find. And it was a limited supply Einstein Brothers. They only had certain things. Now, also bear in mind, this was sort of barely post-COVID, so supply chain issues were kind of a thing. So there were certain things that weren't on the menu. I couldn't fully make it out. So they didn't have their menu up here. What they had was they had their display of their bagels and different things down here. Okay, so I'm third, two or three back, and it's me, Allie, and Misty kind of behind me. And there's a group in front of us that I'm not 100% sure which nation they were from, but I know it was from one of those nations in the stands.
Okay.
They were talking with a lot of chs and a lot of, it was a very thick Arabic accent.
Gotcha.
Younger folks. The two there's two women and then these two fellows that walked up with them. The two women, wildly attractive. Not personally my type, but again, what you would call supermodel pretty.
They were put
very,
together.
very shapely, very,
Gotcha.
Had perfect figures and everything. So we're standing in line at this Einstein Brothers. And I pull my phone out to try to zoom into the menu down here to look at these bagels. Unbeknownst to me, so here's the cut to the side story. What has become my Jiminy Cricket is Misty's stepdaughter, Allie, because she's 19 years old. She's
a smart
cool.
aleck teenager.
She's cool, but she's also, she's very friendly to me, but she's not one to pull punches.
Right.
And on this same trip, she told me, "You are the most awkward person I've ever met." And I've taken that to heart. That's actually good. That's good advice for me because I can take that and try to work on that.
Own it.
So here's my Jiminy Cricket over here, Allie coming over here going, "Stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing that right now." I'm like, what? I'm just trying to see the bagel. I'm trying to pick my bagel.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, it looked like I was basically trying to take a picture of this woman's keystory.
That's what I kind of figured.
Yeah.
Did they catch wind or think
I don't believe they did, and if they did, they were super polite about not showing it. But I don't know how red I turn when I blush, but I'm pretty sure I blushed harder than I've ever blushed in my whole life because I was trying to be defensive of the fact that I was just trying to pick out my breakfast, but also incredibly embarrassed by the thought that, oh no, that was not what I was meaning to do. Please don't kill me. I didn't mean that at all. It was not my intention, sir. I pictured it ending with me have like my hands tied behind my back and like one of those ghetto casino chairs in the back office somewhere and just being cursed at in some other language I can't understand.
See, I think the proper move would have just rolled with it and just keep doing it.
Just kept it. Hold on.
And then if they turn around and look at it, it's like, man, the bagels are fresh, aren't they? And just make random comments about the bagels.
That is some fresh goodness right there. Oh.
What is that, sun-dried tomato?
Oh, I tell you, Mama couldn't make one better. Am I right? Am I right? Oh, what? Yeah, so that was... So I'm very thankful for my Jiminy Cricket, having the person to give me a little whistle and let my conscience be my guide.
Yeah.
Because that was awkward.
See, the funny part would be, and then they're like, I couldn't read it either. Can I see your pic? Now, let me ask you, did you get a pic? After all said and done, did you take the picture?
I wasn't snapping a picture. I was literally just using the zoom feature on my camera to read what.
You sure we don't go through your phone and there's a picture of an Einstein's bagel with a big old badonkadonk right next to it?
Because she was in. I remember what she was wearing too. They were very like skin tight white pants. It was very like. Had I been a pervert, I could have been looking for the trace of underpants line or whatever. But no, I was literally just trying to pick out my breakfast.
You're gonna go through Sean's phone and it's all these menus with this button next to it. There's McDonald's. Here's me at IHOP.
Here's me at a Waffle House. Just badonk. What? I know this. How do you think I know menus better than most? Okay, I study the menus. I keep them in my secure folder, but sure, I study them.
Right.
Look at that.
Hold on, I got the Starbucks menu. Let me look.
I bet you like that Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Am I right? Yeah. No.
I gotta pick up all the menus.
Sir, where are you going, sir? Yeah. So.
Oh man.
So would not recommend that technique. At least not if you're the menu or the selections that you're looking at are at keister level.
My eyes are up here, but the menu's down here.
But here's the thing. This is how my brain works. Mm-hmm. Every time I do that thing now where I pull my phone out to zoom in, I'm like, oh, yeah. It's like it plays in my head. It's like, oh, you almost got killed in a circus.
So now he just makes some random announcement when he pulls his phone out. I'm looking at the menu.
I'm only looking at the menu. Nice keister, by the way, ma'am.
You're in the bathroom, sir. What? Not relevant.
There's no menu here, sir.
All right. So next time you're in Vegas, look for Sean and his phone.
And my magnifying glass.
Coming soon to a takeout store near you. Well, maybe you should just get the magnifying glass and walk around with that instead, like the big giant magnifying glass.
That and of course, long coat, the hat. Go full Sherlock.
That makes fun of the. I got to do it tomorrow. But there's another story I got to tell about a commercial I keep seeing.
Okay.
And it's kind of annoying me. And we'll discuss. Just not. I don't have time right now.
I like the teaser.
We don't have time. Maybe tomorrow I'll work that one in. But between all that election coverage, I'll tell you the story about the commercial that annoys me the most right now. All right, it is 9:14. We're going to play our interview we had with the folks from Xcel Energy. Wes Reeves and Mike McLeod joined us last week. We're going to play that for you here in just a bit. But before we do that, let me tell you all about the weather, which is kind of weird. Like they're using the term drizzle.
Drizzle?
Not even full-on rain, just drizzle. We got like a chance of drizzle tonight and tomorrow. So
just dropping the clothes.
Yeah. So drizzle this into your weather.
Yeah.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have dry cold front dropping in on us today, so we may get a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine as well. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy, and we'll drop into the mid-50s. And then it looks like we'll stay cloudy tomorrow morning, but sunshine coming back in the afternoon and low to mid-70s, fair and close to 80 Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, sorry, I was trying to multitask. I never do that, right? Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 66%. Winds currently out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Kind of seesawy for the next couple days here a little bit. Cooler temps today, as far as below 70. Mostly sunny, high of 67 today. It's still pretty nice for November. But, it is Roswell. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, we're looking at a slight chance of drizzle after 8 p.m. Some patchy fog also could be rolling in. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 54 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, warming up. We're going to be in the mid-70s, but there is a slight chance of some drizzle in the morning before 11. Then a 10% chance at showers and thunderstorms after 11 tomorrow. Could see some patchy fog hanging around till about 11 a.m., but mostly cloudy for the day. Like I said, it's going to be warmer, 75 the high tomorrow. South winds 10 to 15 early, 15 to 20 later in the afternoon. Wind's going to bring with it pretty warm overnight, actually. It's not really cooling down that much, not till later in the week. But Tuesday night, partly cloudy, overnight low 56, south winds 10 to 15. Wednesday, we're back near 80, partly cloudy, 79 for a high. South winds 15 to 20. Thursday, we're back down to 70, but breezy, and that's bringing in cooler temperatures for Veterans Day and the weekend. Veterans Day on Friday, sunny, highs near 60. For Saturday, for football and the Veterans Day celebration downtown. Mostly sunny, 57 for a high, and then sunny, 61 on Sunday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute commercial break. Then I'll play our interview with the gentleman from Excel Energy on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Think your vote doesn't matter? Think about this. Michelle Lujan Grisham and progressives in Santa Fe forced thousands of small family businesses to close, many to never open again. They forced our children to stay away from schools, setting their educations back by months or perhaps years. They forced you to stand in lines outside grocery stores during the coldest months of the year. They violated their own mandates while threatening to use state police to enforce their mandates on the rest of us. And Lujan Grisham and her friends did it all while New Mexico ranked last in the nation on education, last in economic opportunity, and last in public safety. Still think your vote doesn't matter? Think again. Don't make excuses like the Democrats in Santa Fe. Go vote Republican on Tuesday, November 8th. Paid for by the Republican Party of Chaves County. Not paid or authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
I'm State Representative Greg Nybert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chaves County is not immune. Chaves County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nybert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from Excel Energy, we got Wes Reeves and Mike McLeod joining us this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning. Now, I'm going to do this on the air just because people. It's McLeod, right?
Right.
I'm saying it right because people have told me, no, you're not saying it right. I'm like, well, that's how everybody else says it.
Most people pronounce it McLeod. I answer to a lot of different pronunciations. Trust me.
Because I was like, I think I'm doing it right.
Somewhere we got the Scottish pronunciation. So, but no, you got it just right.
Although probably would be a lot easier if it was McLeod. Huh?
It would be.
People can at least wrap their head around that saying. But it is Mike McLeod. But thank you guys for spending some time with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
How's life at Excel Energy? I know, it's always busy, changing, and obviously, the world we live in now, you guys are always busy and cutting edge, and trying to meet the needs.
We made it through a hot summer, and looking forward to cooler weather. And that's one of the things I wanted Wes to talk about. He's always got good tips for people in the wintertime.
Energy savings like that, and and we're about that point, and we're right in that perfect time of year where you actually don't need air conditioning part of the day.
Right.
But if you have like your timers and your set, your fancy thermostats nowadays, it kind of keeps houses at the temps you want them when you're there or not there.
Right.
So I don't know if that impacts one way or another, but we're now at that point where ACs are like maybe using heat in the morning or at night and using air conditioning in the afternoon, which that can be kind of I imagine a little bit of wreaking havoc.
I think it's a great time for
bills.
A smart thermostat or a programmable. They're kind of different terms there, but a smart thermostat is really something you can control it from anywhere through your phone or tablet or whatever, and that really does help you. First of all, to stay comfortable,
right?
Because as you say, this time of year, you never know where it needs to be set, but it really saves a lot of money as well. And
Absolutely.
I always remind people, if you really want to save money on heating and cooling, you start with your insulation and the way you manage your thermostat. Those are the two big things to watch. And we can't always do stuff about insulation. Maybe we live in an old house and we haven't done a remodel yet, but thermostats are pretty cheap. You can get something that will help you there.
Yeah, you can go to a hardware store and
pick
one up, and and if you've got a slight modicum of handyman skills, you can put it in.
Well, I've heard someone talking about that. The instructions are so easy these days, with these new types of self-installations. So, I haven't tried it myself yet, but I don't know.
Well, I say slight because I know I put it in myself and I got it. I thought I had working right, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah.
Someone had to fix what I did.
Yeah, we find that as well.
I usually get somebody to do it for me, but for sure.
This is a great time of year, though. You're not having to cool much or heat much, so it kind of gives us all a little break from the higher summer electric bills.
Sure.
So, but as we head into winter, when we're doing a lot more heating, then we'll try to remind people to pay attention to their thermostats for sure.
Absolutely. Hopefully it'll I want a moist winter but a mild winter. Can we put in that order?
I've ordered that myself, so I don't want any ice. I don't want that extreme cold that we had. We had Winter Storm Uri in 21, and actually we kind of had another spell last year. I don't know if you remember, in February, I believe, right? The 1st of February. February's a bad month, in this part of the world. It can get really cold, but, I always remind, and I'll get asked a lot, what is Xcel Energy doing? Because people are kind of spooked about that. And lately we've had a lot of headlines in New Mexico about we don't have enough power. And so I always remind folks, I'll take the time here to do it, that we're on a separate grid. So here in Roswell, and eastern New Mexico, we're not really on the same power grid the rest of New Mexico is on.
Okay.
And that's kind of something people don't know. And the same
So
for
are we
us.
a little isolated from that a bit?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So for years we were sort of our own island. And then we actually connect back to the east through something called the Southwest Power Pool.
Okay.
And so we're part of a multi-state power sharing market.
Okay.
And we're not part of the Western grid. So you kind of jump over just really west of here, you're in the Western United States grid.
So do we kind of follow a little closer to what Texas is doing on their power needs and things?
Let's say it this way, not the rest of Texas, thank goodness, but the North Panhandle, South Plains, and Texas are part of the same grid that eastern New Mexico is.
By comparison, just to give people, for the weather side of things, it's almost the same way, because like when we get weather alerts and the weather storms and all, here in this part of our state, it comes from Midland. Most of the rest of the state gets from Albuquerque. But here, I think Roswell might still fall under Albuquerque, but when you get down to Artesia and that area, that starts getting into Midland.
Yeah, our weather patterns follow Permian Basin a lot the same. The majority of Texas is in what's called ERCOT system, so they have their own grid just within the state of Texas. The part that we serve around the Lubbock area and up through Amarillo is still tied to the Southwest Power Pool.
Gotcha.
So we have companies that run all the way through the Midwest that we have the ability to share power. Wes mentioned Winter Storm Uri. We were really in a great position. We weren't in as near as bad a position as the state of Texas because we had the ability to buy and sell power within the Southwest Power Pool.
Gotcha. So you kind of have a different client list or sell
whole different
list
setup. And we have a lot of reserves that they don't have, say, in the ERCOT part of Texas, or even into western New Mexico. I mean,
Gotcha.
they're kind of struggling with it. They've got enough power, but they're like, we need an extra cushion of reserves, and that cushion is not where it used to be.
Gotcha.
And I think it's where you're hearing a lot of the concern. It's
Gotcha.
not that we don't have enough power.
It's
in
the
rest.
backup power.
It's the
Right.
backup.
Not
It's like something goes
the
wrong.
reserves aren't as ready as they used to be.
And so they're really
Yeah.
concerned about reserve power. And but in this part of New Mexico, we're in much better shape with reserves than they
Gotcha.
are the rest. And so I always like to tell people that, and it's confusing as all get out. But,
Sure.
but we're in a good spot.
And I know y'all couldn't answer this either way, because I know we're starting to get political on all this, but I'm kind of curious, because you always hear, obviously Xcel Energy, you guys are on the cutting edge of trying to provide power, always looking for cleaner, smarter ways to do things. That's just common sense to do it that way. But do you guys deal with a lot of pressure from the government entities on? Because I'm all for doing flipping to solar and all of that, but it's got to what it's replacing has to put out the equal output.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
The lights have to stay on.
Yeah,
right?
and so how do you guys juggle
Mike,
that side of things?
That's always the balance, the trick, and I think we've done as good as most any company. And it started out, legislatively, we were mandated to get a certain percentage of our generation as renewable. 20% by 2020 was the original goal.
Sure.
And we're actually at about 40% now. So we've been able to slowly and really carefully, with a lot of thought, of add renewables at a reasonable cost. The last 2 wind farms we added they generate power even below our coal cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to continue to work toward our carbon reduction goals. But at the same time, we recognize we have to have spinning mass. We've got to have generation that we can dispatch. With wind and solar, you're at the mercy of the sun and the wind. You know? But we've got enough of it that we have a good diversity, so we can predict it pretty well.
Sure.
But we're still going to be, adding generation. We're still going to be adding fossil fuel generation.
Mm-hmm.
But we see carbon capture as a technology that will help us do that. But I think, to the credit of our senior executives and a lot of our planning folks, they've made a lot of good decisions, and we've been able to keep our costs relatively low while keeping reliability super high.
Sure. And I know, but I imagine you get a lot of pressure from the government entities. And
we do, because there's a lot of...
They're trying to buck for votes so they can say that...
They want to keep the carbon going down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the, as an example, our coal plants, there's been a lot of pressure on coal for a number of years now. So we'll be transitioning out of coal over the next number of years. And that's one of the environmental pressures.
Sure. We always remind people the economics of it, though. So when we, for instance, the coal plant that's closest in Texas to here is going to be retiring, and we just had some news about it earlier this week. It's going to be retiring earlier than we thought, but it's really more about economics on that, because we're running out of water where we have this plant. We need a lot of water, and the groundwater supply is running low. There will be a lot of emissions controls we have to put on. So it's all about economics more than anything else. We're not going to do something really stupid. And
basically, you can do what you need to do without that plant being in the grid, so to speak.
So we're trying to work around those things. And as you said, the wind farms actually are paying for themselves through the savings they generate, because they don't use fuel. And that's the big difference. We pay fuel costs for the power plants. Gas and coal.
Just because you hear a lot of political talking points. Is maintenance relatively easy? Because you hear that there's a lot of stuff that gets spread out there, and
on a wind
I always
farm.
want to hear if you're getting your information from political ads, you're getting wrong information. I don't care whose client, whose side, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious. That's like talking points. It's expensive, and yeah, tell us.
Maintenance it's relatively low compared to operating a traditional power plant.
Sure.
But it's like anything else. You need staff on hand.
Sure.
At our Sagamore wind farm, we have approximately 30 technicians that are on site, and so they're doing those routine maintenance like you would do on your car, or like you would do on other mechanical.
You got to change
devices.
the oil.
Sure. You got to.
Sure.
And
got to be meticulous with that stuff.
And that's one thing that we've always prided ourselves on, our energy supply group. That's one of the reasons we have these power plants that were built for 50 years and they went 70 or some of them longer.
Actually,
because we've always been, very focused on maintaining equipment.
So I'm just now that we're talking, how we get power and things, just your guys' opinion, what's the future? Is it going to go heavier solar? Do you think nuclear will start entering the equation? where do you think, or is there another technology that's not on people's radar yet that's going to
I think you just hit on all the above.
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, seriously, we've got 2 nuclear plants in our fleet up in Minnesota, Wisconsin area, so we understand how to operate nuclear plants. It's just more challenging to build a new one today.
Sure, with the regulations.
Yeah.
And with the...
So we do see growth in solar. We still, as I mentioned, we see growth in carbon capture. So we'll still, but it's technology advances. That's what's really going to get us to the end.
And batteries. It sounds crazy, but you can build a big enough battery, you can make this wind and solar work for you 24 hours a day.
Gotcha.
And that's been the issue for us now. A lot of this wind comes on at night. Of course, solar's coming on during the day when we need it. For sure. And we need the wind, but sometimes we need the wind to come on at different times.
Right.
So if we can put battery systems on this, and so the wind comes on strong at night and everybody's asleep, we'll save that power for tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And as these things become integrated into the grid, it's going to make a huge difference.
So it's going to be, if you look at and compare it to kind of like personal computers, where, those first ones, big, bulky, didn't have much space. As the technology advances, now we've got, you could pretty much store it in the entire NASA program to the moon on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, that would have took a room of computers to do that then. Now, to get a battery to store what we're talking about here would probably take the size of this building.
Yeah.
But here in the few years, we might be talking something that's about the size of your car battery.
Exactly.
Or something.
I think that's the exciting part of our industry is what the next 20 years is going to hold. It's moving so fast. We have a lot of, really smart people within our company that are, evaluating those technologies, experimenting with them, partnering with other companies to see, how well they work. We want to do things in a smart way and an economical way, but we know technology has to be a big part of that future for us to keep our costs down, reliability up, and to integrate more renewables or other types of generation in the system.
Yeah, well, it's kind of neat to see this side, and it's hard to have those conversations without politics getting in the way.
It is, but
it's kind of nice to have this conversation with just talking nuts.
But I always tell people it shouldn't have to be political.
Yeah,
our energy supply should be something everybody's interested in,
sure.
and it's
And I don't care who you are, where you come from. It's kind of nice when you turn on your lights,
and you want to pay. You don't want to pay huge bills for it.
You don't want to have to sell a kid to get the paper. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of turn attentions to your community side a little bit because you have to kind of have your head in the sand if you don't realize this. But anytime there's any kind of major event or any, if we see a lot of our community events or, nonprofits doing things, 9 times out of 10, when they start listing sponsors and people that support it, Xcel Energy is always one of those names that are there on the list. And you guys continue to do that. As we get into the holidays, you guys get more and more involved as lighting and things start coming into play. First off, we greatly appreciate that. I don't know. This community certainly would not be the place it is without the footprint that Xcel Energy has had on it. So, but I mean, how much of that do you guys get to do that side? Is that more like are you guys talking nuts and bolts of it? Power? Do you get to do the fun side of it?
That's the fun side. Yeah. Let me tell you, being able to support. We have so many good nonprofits in this community that do so much good work, and we always wish we could do more, but we try to support as many as we can and as a big a way as we can, not only through our sponsorships, but through our foundation. So we have a number that receive grants, through the foundation. But that's kind of who we are, even going back to when we were Southwestern Public Service, as we transitioned into Xcel Energy. That core value stayed the same, and that was our communities are very important to us. As our communities grow, we can grow. As our communities have needs, we need to help try to meet those needs as best we can as a corporation. But I'm very privileged to be able to be involved in a lot of that charitable giving and sponsorships and things. And it's we think every dollar that we give goes for a really good purpose. We try to make sure that we're being prudent with those monies. But so many great nonprofits in this community do a lot of good work. And Wes, you might have other things.
I always remind people this is our hometown. I love history. Southwestern Public Service
cover a lot of territory.
Started in Roswell.
But this is the
1904.
home campus.
This is where it started. So But it's a business model, I think, too. I mean, yeah, we're nice people. I'm a nice guy. Mike's a nice guy. But we're not stupid because at the same time, you've got to understand if you're supporting your communities and they're successful and everyone's got an opportunity to succeed, your business is going to be succeeding.
Sure.
And we're everybody's our customer.
Sure. Well, that's just it. You have a unique business that it's not like some people need you and some people don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody
We
needs
like to be
power.
needed.
Yeah. And even if you're technically under another, it's still connected in some way, shape, or form. So at the end of the day, and that's where it, and that's the debate of, a utility service versus a product a widget that you're just selling out there, where, and that just by default, you kind of have to, all right, because our product is more important in the human race right now than say somebody flipping burgers, and so because let's face it, and as we get the cold months here, you guys will start your programs up, the things you always have each and every year for people that have issues paying bills and things. We can, you guys work with them each year, but I got to tell you that the only way that all that works is you got to talk to Excel. Just don't wait for them to turn off your lights to
That's
say,
a great
hey.
point. If you've got an issue, if you're having maybe trouble keeping up with your bills, talk to us. We'll work out a pay arrangement. That's a great point, Mike, because call us in advance. Don't wait till it's a real problem.
And there are a lot of resources. And what's so great about it is our people can connect you with the resources to where you're not having to be the one. Say if there's a charity in town that helps people with utility bills, we're going to make all those arrangements with that charity.
Sure.
So you're not having to go back and forth.
You've got a Rolodex. It's got all those.
Exactly.
Right there. It's an actual Rolodex.
We would. Yeah, I'm sure there is somewhere. And one of the,
I still may have one.
Oh, I do.
I've been around long enough.
If he's at a certain age, like you still got a Rolodex, maybe.
I print everything out. So. But yeah, just always remind people that. And the anxiety comes mostly from people not knowing. So you start building stuff up in your head. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Well, call us. Just talk to us. Like I said, we can either stretch those payments out, or if something's really bad has happened, you have no income, we're going to find someone to help you with that.
Yeah, that's something that it's consistently going in. And the other thing too, you're talking about saving and all that. I know we like to hold on to old appliances and old things,
old fridges.
And I get you. You're kind of
beer fridge,
but. You're actually going to see a reduction in your electrical bill, a significant one, when you replace major appliances, especially your air conditioner. If you've got a 25-year-old or 30-year-old air conditioner sitting on your roof right now, you're gonna see a significant bill difference. I can guarantee it, because that SEER rating's probably like 20.
Yeah,
it's not.
And now they're down to what, about 8 or what are they?
So you can really, you can almost pay for, if you've got, like I said, a 25-year-old air conditioner or old refrigerator sitting in your garage still operating, you can buy new and pay for it over time.
Yeah, so those are real legit options if you're looking to cut costs.
And costs are high. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it's gone up because we've had a lot
of world
of fuel,
we live in.
We're inflation. We've had a lot of fuel cost increases, and we always tell customers, here's what you can do, here's how you can help, and I always remind people there are things we're doing too. So we're looking for sources, for instance, wind energy that has no fuel costs. So if we can use more of that, that's fewer fuel costs that you have to pay. So we're all working together trying to cut costs, but we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to get through winter and have to wear, a park in our house.
So it's like we don't have to dress like Little House.
Right. We don't have to live like that. So there are ways to do it. And those efficiency programs, if you have a chance, you can go online and find these efficiency contractors that work with us, and they'll come to your house free of charge, and they will look at your house and see.
I say from time to time, because I remember about a year or so ago, I had Excel Energy, and they had like you said, it came out and they did for free. Came out and they they did the ductwork and the seals around my doors.
Right.
The pipes under your making sure the electrical everything's
and insulated.
I said pipes. I meant the electrical under there. But
now we still offer that program, and there's lots of others. And if you do need insulation, we have some rebates for that to buy down the cost a little bit. So,
and if there's issues, they fix it all. Like they did the sealing, and it cost me no.
Air leaks are a big waste of energy.
Yeah,
so.
it didn't cost me one dime, and they were in and out in about an hour. It was quick, painless, and kind of neat watching them bring out their tools. And their little big vacuum suck things, and they're like, Is it going to make my house go? Is it?
Yes, I know. They try to exactly. They had a hard time with my house because it was built in 1939. They struggled, and I need to do more for sure. But they do a great job, and they'll do more if you want to pay them to do more.
Sure.
They'll come in and insulate your house,
absolutely,
whatever. But
they'll do those quick.
Those are free
fixes.
of charge.
Yeah,
well, I say free, so we're all paying for that. That's part of our cost.
Sure,
we all put money toward efficiency, but you've already paid for it.
Well, think
basically.
of it in the medical world, how it's more turned to preventative medicine.
Yes,
you get your screenings, you get your colonoscopy. Think of this as an electrical version of a colonoscopy.
It is.
Never thought of it that way, Mike.
It's a colonoscopy for your home.
Yeah. I was thinking about Denzel Dunn, our friend. He said the cheapest megawatt is the megawatt you don't have to generate.
Exactly.
So I think that was Denzel's saying. But if he's listening, he was our efficiency guy for many years.
Yeah.
So, but we have a lot of stuff. You can go online. First of all, there's a lot of tips. So go and just kind of Google search Xcel Energy savings tips. You can find any way to do it, and you'll find a lot of information and access to these programs.
And they all help. They
really
these
do.
Things, and you can even, because I know you guys have stuff too where you can talk and work with people, so you can kind of see like when your energy use is peak and all that, and you can use that information to kind of help also mitigate your bill. It's like, how come you have this spike during the day when you're not even there? What's going on? Maybe we can fix that.
Yep.
And maybe it's your air's running, or maybe there is a mechanical issue that we need to send a repair person out. But there's tools and resources through Xcel that can help you pinpoint or help you kind of navigate that process if you're trying to curb your bills.
It's all about
down usage and all that good
I
stuff.
think that's another exciting thing we're going to be looking at implementing over the next several years will be options to put smart meters at your home so that you can control your energy use more. You can identify, what times of day you're using more energy. It's going to give the customer a lot more information, and I think it'll give you the power to, make those changes.
Absolutely.
We'll be able to offer rates, for instance, that are based
Time
on your
of use
usage.
rates.
Yeah. So, please reach out. Go to the websites, do your research, call and ask questions if you like to talk to live people and hammer this stuff out. That's because they're doing the same thing on their end, and actually, I'm guessing, they're probably glad you're calling because they're saying, hey, we're all trying to conserve energy, but at the same time, we want to make sure we have enough of it.
And if you're in Roswell, I went out with these guys last night. Everybody in town knew them. So you just go hang out at any of the restaurants where Mike is.
He's almost the Norm of Cheers. You just walk in any restaurant.
And our other friend Bernard, man, it was like everybody knew him. So it was fun. I had a great time.
Absolutely. Also, I do want to thank you guys personally for we had Bill Williams, Chaves County Manager, join us, and Mike Espiritu, talking about their Green Light for Veterans project, and they kind of hit you guys up last minute. It's like, you ain't got any green light bulbs laying around, do you? And you guys came through and helped them out.
We're always glad to help, and Bill and Mike both are super good guys. I work with them a lot, so I can't say no to Bill if he needs something. He doesn't need much very often, but we were happy to help, and hopefully we'll get a few more light bulbs in people's hands and honor our veterans.
He's always making people buy him burrito breakfast. Make him buy you
He has a way of doing that.
Make him buy you one next time. Take Russ with you.
I need to get to know this guy. Mike, how come we haven't gone to visit him yet? So.
But yeah, what a cool program they're doing.
It is.
I mean, and the courthouse last night, I looked at it. It looks awesome. So
It does.
everybody ought to go.
Tonight, swing by the county admin building and the courthouse, Chaves County Courthouse, and see. And as Bill was saying, they did the front and the back side. So if you're on Virginia or on Main Street here, you see it either way. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
And always we do appreciate, like I said, every time we look and see there's an event going on, whether it's the bigger ones, your Walk for Hopes or Walk to Alzheimer's, or even smaller ones that are just popping up here and there. And it's like, big thank you to Xcel Energy. They provided us with money or some kind of resource to help.
We're happy to support our community. Really are.
Absolutely. And hopefully we get our wish. Mild,
I'm
but
working
wet
on that.
winter.
Yeah. I'm going to count on you, Mike.
Wet as in not ice.
I'll talk to my uncle. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah,
we did the football team.
That was such a great story.
It sounds like he's got an in up there. So I'll see see if he can work his magic.
Yeah,
for
that's
us
awesome.
Here.
Well, my dad's up there too somewhere. He used to predict weather all the time, and he was pretty good at it. So I was,
maybe between the
he's
two,
an
they can work
old
it out.
rancher.
We can get something
That's
there.
how they're
Thanks,
good at that
Mike,
stuff.
for having us.
Anytime. Is there anything we
Appreciate it.
missed? Anything you guys want to make sure we share.
We covered it pretty well, Mike.
Good,
what do you think?
Yeah,
We'll just come back if we think it's something.
we got something. We'll get you back. It's
All
good
right.
to have you. It's good seeing you again, Wes.
Yeah, good to meet you
And Mike's
in
always
person.
appreciate the visit. Well, anytime you guys need anything, reach out. We be happy to help you out.
Thank you so much.
And if we don't pay our electric bill, please give us a you know, give it, man.
I'll give you a heads up.
Give us a heads up. Like, hey, we're about to cut you off. Our bill's a little pricey.
We don't want to cut you off. So.
We've spent a lot of money on electric.
Yeah, you're a good customer.
Yeah, we got a lot of towers. So
As it
thanks,
looks
guys.
like around
All
here.
right.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We'll see
Appreciate you. Money on electric.
Yeah, you're a good customer.
Yeah, we got a lot of towers. So
As it
thanks,
looks
guys.
like around
All
here.
right.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The ENMU Turkey Trot is scheduled for November 19th. Runners and walkers of all ages are invited to join ENMU Roswell for the 5K or the 1 mile fun run. The event benefits the ENMU Roswell Campus Food Pantry and Friends of Roswell Animals. Your entry fee is simply a can of non-perishable food, canned fruits, canned vegetables, soups, and or a can or bag of dog or cat food. Pedigree adult and puppy dog food, Purina Kitten Chow, and Purina Cat Chow complete are preferred. Oil and gas tax revenues have been soaring in Eddy County these last few months, but the revenues are expected to simmer down in the coming months. That's according to Eddy County Finance Director Roberta Smith. The county collected $9.9 million in the month of September, she said. By the end of the fiscal year, the county is estimated to rake in $39.5 million. West Texas Intermediate crude oil is hovering about $95 a barrel after rising to almost $130 a barrel earlier this year. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Radio, here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And these people that are predicting this red wave, now the conditions are ripe for a red wave. The economy can't be any worse. Things are really bad at our border. Woke education is really taking root in many schools. Defund no bail laws has resulted in record crime all across the board in small towns and big cities. So the conditions are right to win. But it's really going to take all of you to understand the math here. Half the country's nuts. That's all there is to it. If Democrats win this in the Senate, court packing, end of the legislative filibuster, D.C. statehood, and who knows God what else they'll do. All of that's going to happen. All of it. They're nuts.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
All right, imagine you're in a room with 4 other people. Statistically, one of you is a victim of identity theft. That's right, 1 in 5. And by the way, these aren't careless people either. They're just probably a lot like you, watching their accounts, watching their credit, but that is not always enough. Now, especially with your personal information in more places than ever before, it can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton, they make it easy to protect yourself. They monitor your identity. They alert you to threats that you could miss on your own. And if you become a victim of identity theft, they'll give you a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist dedicated to your case to work and fix it. Now, look, no one can prevent all identity theft, monitor every single transaction in the world, but everyone can save an additional 25% off their first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com. Just use the promo code Hannity to get the 25% off. Promo code Hannity, lifelock.com, 1-800-LifeLock, save 25%.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have dry cold front dropping in on us today, so we may get a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine as well. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. For the overnight hours, cloudy, and we'll drop into the mid-50s. And then it looks like we'll stay cloudy tomorrow morning, but sunshine coming back in the afternoon and low to mid-70s, fair and close to 80 Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street started the day with the benchmarks moving higher at the opening bell. Apple fell in pre-market trading after warning customers they'll have to wait longer to get its latest iPhone models after anti-coronavirus restrictions were imposed on a contractor's factory in central China. Elon Musk, looking to clean up Twitter, says the social media platform will permanently suspend any account that impersonates another. The platform's new owner issued the warning the other day after some Hollywood types had changed their Twitter display names to Elon Musk. Home Depot workers at a Philadelphia store have said no to a union. Now, if they had voted yes, this would have been Home Depot's first unionized store with 274 employees. Wall Street's benchmarks mixed at mid-morning. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
This is a call to action. I'm Michelle Garcia Holmes, and I'm running for United States Congress. There's so much at stake this election cycle. The life of the unborn, your safety, the cost of living, and most of all, our religious freedom. I'm calling on every Christian from every church to step out of the pews and go to the polls and cast your vote. I ask for your vote. Send a woman of faith to Washington that will protect and stand strong for our values.
Paid for by Garcia Holmes for Congress.
Up your spotting game with the help of Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Zia Guns USA is now an authorized full-line Tacticam dealer. The same scopes, cameras, and spotting equipment that the big boys use on TV. So now you can capture your hunt like never before. Zia Guns USA in Roswell also has a new shipment of knives by Benchmade and Case. Come check out the amazing selection for yourself. Take your hunt to the next level with Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Closed on Saturdays but open on Sundays at 1907 North Main in Roswell.
You're invited to the annual Veterans Day Parade and Celebration, Saturday, November 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Featuring guest speakers Sean Nicholson, music from Matt Miller and Tom Blake, and the laying of the wreaths by the Cub Scouts. The parade begins at 10 a.m. and moves north from the courthouse to the Wool Bowl. And enjoy special displays and food vendors after the parade in the Wool Bowl parking lot. To be a part of the event, contact Stephen Lee with the American Legion at 720-272-1455. Join us Saturday, November 12th, 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Sponsored by Roswell Ford.
When you choose your doctor, do you make that decision based on political affiliation? Of course not. You base your decision on competence, knowledge, and experience. Same for a district judge. Do your homework. Check qualifications. There's only one clear choice. That's why Republicans and Democrats are pulling together to elect Judge Eileen Reardon, 5th District Judge, Division I, Chavez, Lee, and Eddy County. Experience, fair, vote Judge Eileen Reardon. Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Eileen Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. Not Mike Winters. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike. He had to run a quick errand, step out for just a couple minutes. I was coming up with all kinds of scenarios as to what he was doing. Some men ran in with guns and they captured Mike and took him away. No, that's not what happened. He had to run a quick errand. He will be back. Don't worry. Dry your eyes, brainy faces. He'll be back inside your radios this time tomorrow morning. But I'll be wrapping things up for you these last few minutes. In case you missed any portion of the program, you can always check it out in its entirety over at ksvptv.com. Just head over there and click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab. You can check it out in its entirety. The good news is you don't even have to wait to check out these interviews already up piecemeal over on all of our social media. Just search for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM across Facebook, YouTube, or any of our social media, and you can check out those interviews posted up in their entirety. In the 7 o'clock hour, we replayed the interview with Major Mike Letcher and Bart Hoffman from the Salvation Army. Of course, a busy season for them as well, gearing up for bell ringing season. All the info that you need to know there for that interview is waiting for you at our, at 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM on Facebook and YouTube as well. In the 8 o'clock hour, Bill Williams and Mike Espiritu, we replayed that interview talking all about the Lights for Vets program, and want to encourage you to go out and check out those beautiful lights out in the courthouse, the green for veterans. They're going to be shining on at least through, I believe, through Veterans Day this weekend, so go check those out. It is absolutely gorgeous and a great way to pay homage to our veterans. And just a few minutes ago, you heard the interview with Wes Reeves and Mike McLeod from Excel Energy. Obviously, once again, a huge part of our community right here in southeastern New Mexico, a big part of everything that we do and that our community does to keep it strong. Big thanks to Excel for all they do. You can check those interviews out in their entirety over across all of our social there on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM on Facebook, of course, on YouTube as well. You can check those out. It'll be a short day for Mr. Tanner because he doesn't have to piece any interviews together. Got it already all done for you. Hey, just a reminder, big football action coming up this Friday as the playoff picture takes shape and the quarterfinal round gets underway. And, well, us here in southeastern New Mexico, we took 3 of the top 4 seeds, so we got us a bye week. And, that was last week. So we're heading in freshly rested and recuperated as your 1 seed Artesia Bulldogs are set to take on Valley High and the Vikings, the 8 seed there. That game going to be happening Saturday beginning at 12:30 with the pregame kickoff at 1 p.m. You can hear that game over on AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP, and of course at KSVPTV.com for the video side of that. Goddard, the Rockets, the 4 seed, going to be taking on Deming. That's happening Friday night, beginning with a pregame at 5:45, kickoff at 6 p.m. That happening at the Wool Bowl. We'll have that action for you over on our sister station, Fiero 106.1 FM. That happening this Friday night, beginning at 5:45. Make sure to tune in for all the action. And then your 2 seed Roswell Coyotes taking on the 10 seed Gadsden High. The Panthers there at the Wool Bowl at 1 o'clock on Saturday, pregame at 12:45. You can catch that game right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. And, of course, all those games at KSVPTV.com. Got Travis and Sexton on their way inside your radios up next. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place for another morning, this time with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. See you tomorrow.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEN.